And let's record.
What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Good evening, everybody. I am Love Coach Scott Katamas, and welcome to the Awakening World. And it's a really special show that we have tonight. We are collaborating with Kenny Kaufman and the New Living Expo, and I'll be introducing Kenny in just a moment and sharing with you a little bit about who's going to be on the show tonight. But I want to welcome everybody who's watching us live on Facebook. And a big thanks to John and Summer Raymer and the Sign Network. They get us out to as many as 100 different Facebook groups and pages. So it's very cool to have all of you watching. I also want to thank all of you who are watching on Unify. We have thousands of views that way. But you know what? You can come into our Zoom room. It's easy. And by being in the Zoom room, it's easier to interact with us. And we've got so many presenters that you're going to want to interact with. So it's easy. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com, and register. And there's a promo code that'll get you all the links to all of our shows free of charge. The promo code is New Friend. So go to globalpeacetribe.com, put in the promo code of New Friend, and boom, we're going to send you the links to all of our shows between now and the end of June. And we do a show every Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday morning. And we're almost always collaborating with great organizations. Last weekend, it was all about Earth Day. Next weekend, we're collaborating with the Evolutionary Leaders Network, and we bring you remarkable people. And tonight, one of those remarkable people is Marianne Williamson. Marianne's going to be with us live in about 1 hour, so we're looking forward to that. But we have a lot of other amazing people with us. And I'm just going to briefly put the spotlight on them. We've got Dannion Brinkley, who is one of our absolute favorite presenters, luminaries. We love Dannion Brinkley. And Dannion always brings his wisdom and his very unique perspective, having died, I can't keep track, 4 times, 5 times, a lot. So we're going to have Dannion with us. We've also got Elizabeth Wilcox Serafine, and a lot of you who are in our Zoom room just heard her speak, and she's so wise and so eloquent and really has an understanding of what's going on in our world at this time that's very valuable. So welcome, Elizabeth. It's great to have you with us.
Pleasure to be here.
And a wonderful couple. For those of you who do not know Renee and Anthony, they bring wisdom. They bring also an understanding of our new earth that we're creating. So welcome, Renee and Anthony. Your first time on our show. So it's great to have you with us. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, thanks. We're happy to be here.
Yeah. And another person, and these are all people, by the way, you can see at the New Living Expo. These are some of the top keynote speakers. We've got Lisa Williams joining us.
Hi.
And Lisa, I'm so looking forward to hearing from you and getting a homeopathic dose of your wisdom and your medicine
Thank
tonight.
you. Thank you.
And we always have great music. And I invited back, we just met them a few months ago, and they're so great. I keep inviting them to be on the show. This is Mystical Joyride. And
What's
they're
up,
going to
y'all?
provide, yay, they're going to provide some wonderful music for us. And we're excited about that. So thank you so much. And later on, we're going to hear from Deva Seva. They're another musical band that'll be playing for us. And our favorite magician, Sean Jay, is coming back to perform some magic. We'll be hearing from Lori Grace and some other special surprises. So it's a full show. Ken has done an amazing job of putting it together. And speaking of Ken, there he is, Mr. New Living Expo himself, Ken Kaufman.
Thank you.
Kenny, you've done a great job. And there he is. There is his wife. Hello, Karina.
Hi there.
The wife that always people will say, I couldn't do it without her. So
It's true. It's true. And
every man needs a good woman.
and to let everybody know again, the New Living Expo, this is it. The pandemic has wound down. We can come together. We can hug each other. And thank God the New Living Expo is always our favorite place to come together. It's in the San Francisco Bay Area, just south of San Francisco in San Mateo, and it's next weekend. And as you can see, almost everybody that's on that poster are on our show either last night, tonight, or tomorrow night. And these are 10 of about 100 incredible people who are all going to be at the expo. So definitely, if there's any chance you can make your way to the San Francisco Bay Area next weekend, that is going to be the place to be.
That's for sure. Yeah, you can't miss it because it only happens now, once every so often, we'll say, instead of every year or so.
And tell us a little bit about some of the other aspects of the expo, Ken. I mean, I can wax poetic, but do you and Karina want to share a little bit about, for people who haven't been there, what takes place in addition to 100 amazing speakers?
Well, we have 170 exhibitors. You're sold out for booth space, which is fantastic. That's a great marketplace. The unique and unusual items you would never find in your common, new age bookstore or health food store. Panel discussions, 4 different panel discussions, workshops, lectures, just a myriad of that. And we also have a whole mind, body, spirit movement area on the grass. We call it the Great Lawn. We just posted the schedule just a couple of days ago on the website. We'll have ongoing sort of between yoga and Tai Chi and different movements and sound healing. Really fantastic. That's added. We have a whole cannabis conference on Saturday from 12 to 6, a couple different panel discussions for that. So it's got some new things that we have. And all of that is included with a general admission ticket. You don't have to buy anything extra to see the basic show. If you want to see a special speaker like Lisa or Marianne, we've got a few of those, 6 of those altogether. You pay a little extra. And we try to make our cost as affordable as possible, $20 for a 1-day pass, $35 for a 3-day pass. And that's the same prices it's been last for the 20 years ago. We haven't raised our prices for 20 years. Just amazing, right, Scott?
That is amazing. And I love the expo. I can't wait to be there. Here's an example of all that's happening just in terms of speakers. Here's the speaker schedule for Saturday. And as I said last night, the hardest part of the expo is you want to go to more things than you have time for. So I do look forward to when we all have learned how to bilocate and we can be with Reverend Michael Beckwith and Lisa Barnett and Jessica Robinson at the same time, as an example. So this is the schedule just for Saturday alone. And but you're going to get a chance to hear from and see some of the best speakers this weekend. Last night we had Bruce Lipton, who was fantastic, Kimberly Meredith, the gentleman from India. Tomorrow we've got John Gray, and just so many wonderful people. So thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Karina, for all you did to keep Kenny's spirits boosted for those 2 years. And speaking of those 2 years, we're asking all of our presenters tonight to share at least one tool for transformation. So whether it's Renee and Anthony or Lisa Williams or Daniel Brinkley, they're all going to share kind of tools for transformation, because let's face it, our world is radically changing, and it's scary and it's exciting. Fear and excitement kind of are similar. It's like a roller coaster ride. Some people love roller coasters and some people don't like roller coasters. Well, we are on a planetary roller coaster ride. And so tonight you're going to hear from all these wonderful luminaries who have their wisdom, sharing a homeopathic dose of their medicine, of how do we make our way through these incredible times as we move from the old paradigm into the new paradigm. For those of you who are new to the Awakening World, welcome. We always start our Saturday night show off with music, and it doesn't get any better than Mystical Joyride. You are in for a treat. I don't know how two people can create as much amazing music and sound as you're about to hear, but they bring a tremendous amount of energy. And also listen to their lyrics, because what they sing is all about what the Awakening World is all about. So welcome, Mystical Joyride. It's so good to have you back with us.
Thank you.
Greetings, humans, creatures, aliens, and non-corporeal beings. Travel with us to another dimension. Open your hearts and your minds. Welcome to the Joyride.
Come on. Yeah.
Throw your hands up, it's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up, it's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up, it's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up. We gon' dance like no one is watching, laugh like no one can stop us, love like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution. We gon' dance like no one is watching, laugh like no one can stop us, love like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution of joy. Take the corners of your mouth, turn them up.
Turn them up.
Wiggle like you got ants in your butt.
In your butt.
Make a friend and take them to lunch. Money ain't a thing when you spend it on love.
Pour hot tea, make the glass go clink. Look higher, you know what I mean. To the good life, no one can take away with reckless abandon. Yeah,
We gon' dance like no one is watching, laugh like no one can stop us, love like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution. We gon' dance like no one is watching, laugh like no one can stop us, love like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution.
Throw your hands up, y'all.
Throw your hands up, it's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up, it's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up, it's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up, throw your hands up.
A good smile will make your soul vibrate.
Namaste in the world we create.
Spread love, this is how we do it.
Open up, out the box, keep it fluid.
Shalom,
Shalom.
respect for the home.
Everywhere I go, I know that I'm not alone.
My peeps,
Come on,
we good.
let's go. Refine this kindness, every day grow and dance. Like no one is watching, laugh. Like no one can stop us, love. Like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution. We gon' dance. Like no one is watching, laugh. Like no one can stop us, love. Like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution of joy. Of joy. Of joy. Of joy.
Come on, y'all, throw your hands up.
It's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up. It's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up. It's a joy revolution. Throw your hands up. Throw your hands
We
up.
gon'
Dance like no one is watching, laugh like no one can stop us, love like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution. We gon' dance like no one is watching, laugh like no one can stop us, love like no one can hurt us. It's a revolution of joy. Of joy. Of joy. It's a revolution of joy.
Hop, step, shake, slide, sing good vibes from the left to the right. Smile, dance, let it flow, let it shine
your hands up. Hey, it's a revolution of joy. It's a revolution of joy.
I love you guys so much. Absolutely love you guys.
Love you.
And thank you for reminding us because it is a revolution, but let's do it with joy. One of the things that has come up a lot in the class that I teach is people asking, is it okay for us to be joyful with the war in Europe, with the, climate change, with the ocean dying? How can I be joyful?
Yeah.
And I so appreciate you starting us off with that song because, yes, we do need to recognize the suffering and the work that we have to do, but let's do it with joy. And I really appreciate
Yeah.
how you guys remind us of that so beautifully.
Thank you. Joy is the gratitude.
That's right.
You know?
Yeah, that's right. And that's how we get there. Hey, they're going to be back, but I want to let everybody know that you can learn all about Mystical Joyride by going to the website. It's an easy name to remember, mysticaljoyride.com. And I love that they are welcome, everybody. You're very inclusive. I do appreciate how inclusive you all are. And you got some shows coming up. You're going to be at Lightning in a Bottle. That's going to be fun.
Yes, we are very
Yeah.
excited for that.
That is,
And of course, and that's how I met you. You're going to be at Soul Play Festival.
And equally excited for that.
Yeah. I look forward to when I see you in person. I can finally meet you guys in person.
Yes.
It's like-
It's going to be a good hug.
I know. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm excited to the hug.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Well, thank you. We've got a great show. Wait till you see some of our guests. And so kick back and we'll see you guys in about an hour.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, I also want to mention that I forgot to mention Celestine Starr is going to be with us tonight. So I was going so quickly and flipping along, and so I apologize, Celestine. But she is one of our favorite presenters, and she's going to be with us a little bit later on in the show. So that's another person who's going to be with us. And we are kicking off our first presenters are Renee and Anthony, and they're new for me. So I'm going to ask my buddy Kenny to tell us a little bit, or maybe even Karina, tell us a little bit about Renee and Anthony. Who are these two beautiful souls that we're going to be meeting?
Thank you, Scott. And I think we'll start off with some tools for our tools of transformation. Karina has one she wants to share real quick.
Oh, great.
Mine is to be aware of your thoughts. Okay, because actions and behaviors stem from our thoughts, and that would be my number one thing. And in fact, it's step number one in my little book.
And that's what Bruce Lipton was talking about last night a lot, about being conscious of our
Wouldn't
thoughts.
be surprised.
And mine would just be tapping into the higher power and watching what it magically does for us. And with that higher power, Renee and Anthony, you guys are very special to us because we became very friendly with them this last summer. So much appreciated to that. They are modern mystics, channelers, and healers. Renee and Anthony are founders of the Voices Behind Blue Soul Earth, which is focused on igniting global consciousness and bringing the worlds of science and spirituality together in ways that educate, inspire, and liberate. Their teachings focus on the balance of masculine and feminine, unity, consciousness, heart-centered living, and our human existence. And I so appreciate you guys coming on. I know you haven't been on Saturday Night Live yet, but
Welcome.
we're looking forward to hearing what you guys do. And at the expo, they'll be speaking. I have a workshop on Sunday night at 6 o'clock for an hour and a half. You can hear them when they channel Mary Magdalene. Who else might be there? Who knows what shows up? Take it away, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ken and Scott and your entire team for having us. Wow. Yeah, and we are looking forward to New Living Expo. Actually, it's an amazing conference, so we're so glad to have it back live again. So anyway, we love also being here. Global Peace Tribe couldn't be more aligned, right, with the work that we do. And it's so relevant to what we're seeing and what we're facing in the world right now, right? So in the work that we do, we get questions all the time like, we've been talking about this a little bit on the pre-show too, right? How can we, meaning humanity as a collective, right, be moving into these deeper levels of consciousness that we so often hear about, right? When we look around and it feels like the world is falling apart, we're seeing the Ukraine and, the women in Afghanistan and, just recently, the recent pandemic lockdown, I don't know if you saw that in China, where a lot of the elderly are feeling so much pain, right? And yet we're seeing sort of groups uniting and bonding in really powerful ways everywhere around the world, in small towns and cities and villages, if we're open enough to look for them, right? So a great example, I don't know if you guys saw this, it was so beautiful. There were top violinists around the world who joined a Ukrainian violinist who was in a basement shelter in Kiev to show solidarity. If you haven't seen that, just look on YouTube, it's incredible. And it may seem like a really small example, but the truth is, things like this are happening to show solidarity and oneness all over the world right now. We just need to be awake enough with an open heart to see them, right? So unity and consciousness and oneness is really the core of the teachings that come through our channelings when we channel, which we're not doing tonight.
No.
And the teachings that come through us today, they really remain unchanged from thousands of years ago. And their messages were never filled with dogma. They were never filled with divisiveness. And they were never filled with fear, right? And other things that those teachings and the channelings have in common that comes forth for us all the time now is that the wisdom and the power lies within. The answers to our deepest fears and our anxieties lie within. And another thing that we always like to emphasize too, right, that the great Yeshua taught is that no one group is superior to another. We always need to remember that, right, at this time. And then most importantly is that we are all interconnected, right? That's of course our favorite one, right? As Ram Dass and many other masters have said, we're here to awaken to the illusion of separateness. So that really begs the question, if we know, right, we know that separateness is causing our suffering, why is it that we still feel, right, when we look around us so separate, right? The dark night of the soul for the collective consciousness that we're all going through right now, right? And so it's, thousands of years we've been told to look outward. We've been told to look to institutions, right? We've been told to look everywhere except for within our own hearts, right? And so that has led to a lot of insecurity and not feeling worthy, right? And so whether it's gurus and sages or politicians and medical doctors, we've just been told to look outward. So that means like we don't have the answers, right? And so when you have a collective consciousness of years and years and years of that, that's where we're at, right? And we've lost that inner compass, right? I loved, I think it was Elizabeth's beautiful butterfly analogy earlier, right? We've lost that inner compass. We've lost the compass to nature that so many of our shamans and indigenous elders, right, inherently know and practice. So it really means that healing journey starts within. It's been said a million different ways. Self-love, it starts here. When we really go inward and love ourselves, right, then the healing can truly begin. And a lot of times it's really hard for us to do that, right? It's hard for us to give us the self-love and the self-care that we need. However, when we heal ourselves, and our guides say this all the time, heal one soul at a time, because when you heal yourself, you heal others. And when you heal others, you heal yourself, right? It's that beautiful symbiotic relationship and experience because we're all interconnected. And so we like to say, right, there's never been a better time to go within and to look at that internal compass and to trust it, right? 50 years ago, we didn't have social media. We didn't see our children all looking down at their cell phones 24/7, right? We are getting distracted by so much noise out there that it's making it really hard to know the truth. And the truth is really your truth, right? Your truth. And Magdalene, who's one of our main guides, as Kenny said earlier, you know, she vocalizes this in force through us every day, right? Speak your truth, speak your voice, speak from the heart, because, you know, this is our time, right? This is our time to feel empowered. And there's been no better time to do it than now. And sages and mages have said it countless different ways, right? The kingdom is within, said Jesus or Yeshua, and later Tolstoy, right? Our dear Oprah said inner wisdom is more important than wealth. And one of our favorites, just because it's fun, right? Plato said an empty vessel makes the loudest sound. I love that one. And of course, the great Buddha said no one saves us but ourselves. And so I really think that boils down to when we embrace our inner truth and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable. And, you know, to your point, Scott, what you said earlier, a tip or, you know, allow yourself to be vulnerable. It's scary out there, right? It is scary to speak our truth and speak our voice. But this is the precious gift that we can give others when we speak our truth from our heart, right? From our heart and speak our truth. And we show the vulnerable, you know, aspects of ourselves and the messiness and all of it. That is a precious gift to others that they can do the same. They have permission to do the same. They have permission to, you know, just speak their truth, as messy and, you know, vulnerable as it may be. And what that does, right, that encourages people and groups of different cultures, colors, belief systems to finally come together. And that's the gift that we can give the collective right now who aren't sure where to go and are feeling lost, right, is to truly see them and give them that opportunity to share from their heart, speak their truth, speak their voice.
I think that's, yeah, you're absolutely right. And first of all, I wanted to thank Scott, and I want to thank Ken, especially for New Living Expo, because, you know, it was during New Living Expo that when I was first opening up and becoming awake, it was so hard for me to control these energies that came through. And it was at New Living Expo that I actually felt like, wow, I'm at home. I'm with individuals that are like me, and I saw others that were similar to myself. So I say thank you so much, because you helped us come a long way. Now, I wanted to speak quickly about some things about what can we do to awaken, to be aligned with our higher selves. Well, one thing is this, and it's so simple. It's just being present. And it's been said so many times, being present in the present moment, you are literally aligning yourself with source energy. And what is source energy? It's the God self. It's who you are and who we are as light beings. And I can't stress more than enough that we truly are love. We are love incarnate. Okay. This is who we are. And if we can do this, if we can show each other how we are present with each other, then we are showing our higher selves. We are showing our God selves. And I'm going to give you a few examples of this, is that by profession, I'm a speech and language pathologist. So I work with children with autism, and many times they're all over the place, but there are instances that they will grab my face and they'll bring me into theirs. And I look into their eyes and they look into my eyes. And I say to these children, I see you. And I can feel them acknowledging my soul as I acknowledge theirs. And that is being present. And that is what it is to be source energy, universal consciousness, connected to the all the time. One thing, again, that our guides will always say, we are in your most intimate settings. And we never understood what that meant. Like, what are you guys talking about? It means this. They are always here because we are always here. They are us and we are them. We are one and the same, and we are always and constantly helping each other express ourselves find out who we are in this lifetime. And when we can discover that we truly are love, 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 as they say, and I'm going to say to you, the only energy or the only glue that connects everything together in this universe and beyond, that energy is love. And I can't stress that more than enough, because that is the one thing that Yeshua, Magdala will constantly always say, and this is the thing that Renee and I will say to all of you: remember who you are in this lifetime. Remember the true, authentic self of who you are. And then, only then, you will really know your true love source energy. We are not separate from source, but as our good friend said earlier, we are that God source energy. Reminding ourselves, understanding it, rediscovering it, reinventing it. It is a renaissance of who we are again. And I truly believe that now on this earth plane, no matter what we are seeing going on, that we are more connected now than we've ever been before. And we see that happening in so many different parts of the world. So many shows like this, Scott, that's occurring now is occurring everywhere on this planet. And we are becoming more and more connected, not just through our technology, but through our understanding of who we are as human beings, this source of love, this God that we truly are. And again, I want to thank everyone for being here.
Well, and understanding too that we are all energy, right?
We're
all energy beings. So the exchange that you have with the autistic child, or, you know, Anthony had told me another story about a homeless man that you had connected with,
Yes.
right? And who just, you know, did this bowing down to you as a way of thinking and gratitude. And that expression, that energy exchange, when we get to that place of really truly seeing the other as ourselves, that is it's the opening, right? It's the opening that we want to give to others, that we are not separate, right? We are the same.
Yes.
Right? I mean,
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys.
You know, and I want to acknowledge, I've seen you channel, just so people recognize, this is your first time on the Awakening World, but I've seen you on Christy Michaels when I've hosted her Magdalene events and seen your beautiful channeling. And a lot of the people right now in our chat box, Janet and Carol and Nancy, are all saying yes in various ways. You know, you have so much passion, both of you. I love how passionate you are. And you help people to connect. You know, like Anthony said, you know, he first started having this awakening, and, you know, now you've got however many years of practice. But for other people, they're at a different level of awakening. And so if you want to learn how to wake up, Anthony and Renee do offer a lot of ways to work with them. So their website is bluesoulearth.com, bluesoulearth.com. And I love what they say right here: awaken and ignite your soul. And that's what they do. They help us to connect to our spirit guides. I mean, for heaven's sakes, I mean, he covers all the bases. He channels Mary Magdalene and Yeshua, known as Jesus. So, you know, that's pretty amazing. And I've watched him do it, and he's a clear channel. So go to bluesoulearth.com. Is there any particular offering that you really want to mention right now for people?
Sure. We didn't really think about it, but if you also go to studywithspirit.com. So
I actually happen to have that right here.
You do? Okay.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. Blue Soul Earth is our main website. So you can certainly go there for things like how to work with us, live courses, private sessions, that kind of thing. But Study with Spirit has a number of pre-recorded courses on demand where you can just go and check everything out. In addition to Yeshua, Magdalene, and the Ascended Masters, we also channel Metatron and Melchizedek. And so we have just launched a new course on sacred geometry with both of those energies. And, you know, at studywithspirit.com, I think the biggest thing is our Ignite program. We have a annual membership program called Blue Soul Ignite, which you can register on Study with Spirit. And that way we get together every single month as a community, and there's live channeling and healings and energy activations and all sorts of fun things.
Beautiful. So go see them live in San Mateo at the New Living Expo, if at all possible. And definitely go to the two websites. Again, it's studywithspirit.com and bluesoulearth.com. And Debbie Johnston, our wonderful co-producer, is putting those links into the chat box. Thank you so much for your passionate dedication to our transformation. I look forward to seeing you again soon.
Oh,
Thank you.
thanks, Scott.
Thank
We
you,
love
guys.
the show. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Thanks, Renee and Anthony. We'll see you Sunday night at 6 p.m. for an hour-and-a-half workshop. Where there'll be
Yes,
clowns.
right after Bruce Lipton. So everyone can go to Bruce and then like head over and see some.
That's
great-
exactly right. Yeah,
Wow, that's a double header. That's a back-to-back.
got a lot of
And then stop by the seaweed booth after that.
good.
Yes.
First time.
Definitely
yes.
want to. We're all going to be at the seaweed booth. That for sure. For sure.
Yes, we won't miss
Hey,
that.
I think it's time for Lisa Williams.
Yeah, let's get her.
We love
let's get her
Lisa.
on.
Yeah.
All right, see you guys next. So Lisa, welcome to
Hi.
Saturday Night Alive. It's just a pleasure to have you, and you're our newest speaker for the New Living Expo.
I am.
So I'm really grateful
Thank
that you
you.
were able to come. I know you're a world-renowned medium and a clairvoyant with an amazing ability to communicate with those who have passed on to the other side and bring hope to fans. And you offer workshops and courses in mediumship. You're developing your psychic ability, intuition, meditation, healing, and what do you guys say that one, honey? Forensics.
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 Forensics as
You got
well.
some books, Survival of the Soul, Life Among the Dead. Hopefully they'll be available at the show after your special event on Saturday at 1:30 to 3:30. So your website, I know somebody will Debbie will put it in, but it's lisawilliams.com, and take it over. You've got a few more minutes. So
Well, thank you, Ken. I really appreciate it. And nice to see everybody. And I love the music. I was like, yeah, man, that was awesome. So, thank you, Mystic. Honestly, though, it was awesome. So my name's Lisa Williams. I have been, there they are, they're amazing. I have been working, this is an English accent. I haven't, sort of like swallowed the book of Harry Potter. I am from England. I have been over in America 16 years. I was discovered by the late Merv Griffin, who created a TV show around me, Life Among the Dead. It was on Lifetime, and then went on Oprah and everything else. And I used to have short spiky hair. So those of you who are like, God, your name rings a bell. Yeah, short spiky hair, which was multicolored. So you might remember me. So I obviously at the New Living Expo, I am going to be doing what I do best, which is communicating with the divine source, which is obviously divine wisdom. We're going to be talking about divine wisdom for daily living. And we're also going to be, of course, it wouldn't be a Lisa Williams thing if I didn't connect to your loved ones, because that is what a lot of people want. And I think really right now, just as Renee and Anthony were talking about earlier, is the world is changing and we have to be very, very present. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is helping you tap in to your own wisdom. A lot of people really think that you have to be this gift, or you have to have this gift, or you have to be able to connect, and it's a special gift from God. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Intuition is within all of us. Intuition is so innate. It is something that is really an untapped superpower, and let's just call it your superpower. It is your untapped superpower where you can discover so much about yourself. One of the things that I aim to do when on Saturday is really to help everybody, whether you're a psychic, medium, healer, intuitive, or you're like, I just want to come along and see what it's all about. Well, this is really, I'm going to help you really get the most out of your intuition. I am going to help you connect in. And that's one of the things is about connecting with yourself. And I've been doing this for so long. I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of people were like, in fact, my grandmother, let's backtrack a minute. My grandmother used to do this. And I remember her saying to me, Lisa, you're going to continue with my work. And I went, I don't speak to dead people. And in my head, I didn't want to. I mean, I'm sure those of you who are out there who can relate to what I do, you'll be like, I didn't want to do it either. And I fell into this work. This work completely opened up. And I'm going to tell you honestly, every one of these panelists that you're going to see throughout the show and throughout the expo, this is not a job to us. This is a calling. This is the calling that we have to come into this world. And we all have a calling. Some of us are actually ignoring it, okay? Some people are completely embracing it. And this is your opportunity to embrace it. So when we tap into our intuition, let me help those skeptics out there, because I know you're out there, is the intuition is actually part of our brain. There is a massive science behind this. And I also studied neuroscience. So I'm going to give you a little bit of science, and I'm also going to give you a little bit of intuition on Saturday. But what happens with our brain when we are getting into our intuition is we are taking away all of the outer things, you know, such as the emails and everything else that we're getting, that we are working with normally. And we are tapping into the ancient brain of emotion, which is scary. Let's face it. Sometimes that ancient brain is super scary. But when we tap into the ancient brain, it will send signals through a particular nerve that is our vagus nerve, and it hits our stomach. Have you ever heard of gut reaction? That is because our limbic system is firing off. The emotions are running through us, and we are getting a gut reaction based upon this ancient brain. It is not just for those people who are gifted. And what this actually does for you guys is it helps you with anxiety. It helps you with stress. It helps you with confidence. It's going to help you with your own connection. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, I'm intuitive already. Absolutely. But I'm going to take you on this journey of connecting deeper, because I'm going to tell you truly, when you can connect deeper, and as someone who is like me, who does this work day in, day out, and has thousands of students around the world, your intuition is your superpower. Let me ask you, how many times have you wished that you were not tossing and turning at night, sleepless nights, struggling with stress, and that you wish that you had the answers? You wish that you were not waiting for your friend to tell you what to do, or that you were rushing around to go into a psychic reading. Oh my gosh, I am going to tell you, it is so important, because even I've done it. I've laid awake at night wondering what was happening. And in that moment, in that time and space, I can help you access that, what I call divine wisdom. That divine wisdom is so innate within us. You can be your own guide. You know, if you are listening to what Renee and Anthony saying and going, yeah, well, I can't connect to my own guide, my spirit guides, I'm going to help you connect into yourself. Because when you can connect into yourself, you're going to have a greater understanding of being able to connect into your spirit guides and into your spirit, into your soul, and then in turn into your loved ones. Many of us have lost loved ones, and we wish that those moments that we could just click our fingers and go, I wish I could connect. You can. It is so easy to do. And I'm actually going to help you do that. And it's a simple visualization tool. And in fact, we could do it now I'll go through the basics, but basically visualize them. Think about them. Imagine that they are there with you. Imagine that they are standing with you. Imagine, remember what it's like to be felt by them, to have their arms around you, to hear their voice. And then it starts to come real. And maybe a tear starts falling down your cheek. And maybe you start to think, oh, this is not real. But you have to believe yourself. Keep telling yourself, this is real, this is real, this is real. And the more that you are opening yourself up, the stronger that vision starts to come. And guess what? It's no longer part of your imagination. Your loved ones are there. They are there with you every second of your day. They want to be part of it. And it's those times that you are driving your car, washing up, listening to music. You are in a complete state of relaxation. And then suddenly you go, oh, hold on, I'm feeling my loved one. I'm smelling cigars. I'm smelling smoke. I'm smelling something. And you think that that is your family member, your loved one. And then you go, nah, it can't be. It is. Truly, it is. And what's actually happened is a chemical reaction has actually happened. That's simply what has happened. Is you have released oxytocin in your brain, and that oxytocin has just gone and opened up your heart space, your heart center, your heart opening. Oh my gosh, it's like, yeah, man. Oh, baby, bring it on. And then you know what's happened? His spirit's gone, I'm going to come and talk to you. And that's what's happened. Spirit is waiting for the opportune moment to communicate with you. They might give you that divine wisdom that you are looking for. They are going to help you relieve that anxiety. They're going to help you with stress. They're going to give you the messages that you want to hear. They are going to take you on this journey, which is incredible. And so my tool for transformation tonight is to have gratitude. To absolute have gratitude when you place your hands on your heart and you have absolute gratitude for some of the hardest things that you have had to do in your life. Some of the hardest things that you have had to face. Guess what? Feel that heartbeat. Breathe. And realize that if it wasn't for those difficult times, difficult moments, that you would not be the person that you are today. Those lessons, those tough times, those amazing times have brought you to now. Try and find gratitude in everything that you guys do, because that is how Spirit connects. That is how we get the information that we need. That is how you are going to connect to yourself and find that divine wisdom within us all. So I am super excited to be with you next Saturday. You know, I think you have got an amazing, amazing group of people. And I am just going to do a little bit of a selling thing. Go and buy your tickets right now. If you're on the edge of your seats going, I don't know, maybe. That's telling you, all right, someone's telling me that you need to go and buy your ticket right now. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox.
Lisa, I love that you're doing that. Absolutely. And I'm actually on your website. And her website, where we can learn all things Lisa Williams, is at lisawilliams.com. And look at what she's got right at the top of her website. Like she said, she's, speaking, she's walking the talk. She is promoting the New Living Expo, and we all want to be there.
Thank you.
And Lisa, what a joy to meet you. I really appreciate so much what you shared, the way you expressed yourself. And I love that your tool for transformation is gratitude.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's how we can always shift. Whatever's going on in the world, dropping into gratitude is the great way to shift.
Absolutely. I think it's very important, and I don't think people practice it enough. And often we forget to breathe too when we're practicing gratitude. So it's breathing into our body. So our body is aware, but our brain is so slow. It's such a marvelous instrument, but it's so slow to catch up that we actually have to allow our body just to help our brain catch up and move through it.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Slowing down, being grateful.
Absolutely.
I would love to have you on. We frequently do shows on death and near-death experiences and managing it. Daniel Brinkley is always on when we do that. And I would love to have you on the next time we tackle that topic.
I would love that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Thank you.
Really good to meet you, and thank you, Kenny, for making this introduction. She rocks. She does. Hey, speaking of She Rocks, it's time for some more music. And I'm really excited about this. Anuprabha, who's way there in the back, wave Anuprabha if you can hear my voice, is a longtime friend of mine. We teach together through Love Coach Academy. But by day, she's a brilliant coach, but at night, she is a wonderful songstress, and this is her band, Deva Seva. And so we're excited. Making their Awakening World debut is Deva Seva. They're an international Bhakti rock band. And I love that. They're dedicated to being of service through music, creating safe and sacred spaces. They combine meditation with celebration. How cool is that? Now, they're not going to do meditation right now, but they sure are going to do celebration. So here they are, Deva Seva.
Thank you, Scott.
Hurry up, 'cause all
All right. You guys got people, got Renee and Anthony up dancing, and I saw Kenny and Karina smiling, and a lot of people in the show absolutely enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Just to say, that was an original song by our guitarist here, Narayan. So.
And you know what? Go ahead. You guys are going to do another song, but go ahead and introduce all the people in the band.
Yeah, we've got Kashaya on percussion, Wave doing bass right now, but he's also guitarist. We got Phil, also on mandolin and lead guitar. Dan Bodie, keyboards and vocals. Narayan, the rock here, and myself, Anna Prabha.
Oh, beautiful. We love Anna Prabha and her boys, Anna Prabha and her men. And a big hello to Sam Sparrow, who also helps make everything happen.
Sam has been a huge help. And also, Scott, I just would like just to say, Davis Seva also came as, divine service, right? We also came together. Really, the original band was like actually me and Dion Bodie. We came together to really support our friend Aria and her journey with cancer years ago, 2012. And so we became like sort of a death doula bhakti rock band. That's how we came together. And really, that's really where our heart is really in service with people that are, vulnerable, sick, in this really fight for their life, And so we really are supportive and also we love to do fundraisers and just really support anybody who feels they need support and use our music in that way.
Well, thank you for being of service, and thank you for being on the Awakening World. And we will look forward to, you're going to close the show out. So they'll be back to close the show out. So we'll see you in a little while.
Okay,
thank you. I'm bringing Kenny and Karina back on because this is when we get to introduce one of our absolute favorite souls.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it's go ahead, Ken.
Having somebody like Daniel Brinkley with us in this life right now and is such an honor because this man has been by far the longest speaker in history of between Whole Life Expo and New Living Expo that we've ever had. And probably one of the best advocates for the Expo, as you can hear him in the early show. So Daniel, it is such a pleasure. I mean, you keep writing books, you keep doing more stuff. Every time I talk to you, you always got something new in the wings, some new TV show or some new book. So keep it going, man. Nobody's taking you down very quickly. It's like, this man will not go.
Not till the job is done, Kenny.
Oh, I don't know when that will never be, man. I don't know.
Oh, it's now. What? People who read my books know where we are. They know where we are. We're at that critical juncture where people have to make a decision about, like everyone has said, who they are. Okay? And it's a lot easier for me because a lot of people try to figure out what their mission in life is. I've been told what my mission in life is, and every time I stray from it, they kill me and remind me. But the thing that's important about now and May 6th and tonight and today was a solar eclipse. That dark side of the moon period and everything that can terrify you would show itself. It would show itself if you were in the middle of the birthing of an age, and we are there. Okay, so it's no more, well, maybe it'll pass, or maybe the midterm election will change it, or maybe there won't be a food shortage, or maybe there won't be this, or maybe they won't be that. Well, everything that threatens your very safety and security as a human being, based on the things I talked in the early show about, helplessness and loneliness. these are the drivers that you have to accept in this life. You're helpless when you're born and you're helpless when you pass. And you are lonely based on situations or the lack of developing relationships or all the things the speakers this evening have talked about. So we're at that critical juncture, recognizing part of our journey. Part of our journey is realizing what our mission here is, and it is to practice being a God. And to do like Lisa said, to breathe deep. The first breath is on you because you have free will. And then before you breathe out, you stop. And there is a moment between breathing in and breathing out. That's when divinity operates in your world. If people would stop and look at whatever they think God is and write down on a piece of paper, what do you think God is? Loving, compassionate, hopeful, and then you protective, and then you think of how many times per day you have the option to do one or more things. There's not a single one of you that won't come to the conclusion that you have all of those options all day. And the reason why you're not participating in them is someone has harmed you, hurt your feelings, made you feel bad, or affected you. A great, powerful, and mighty spiritual being, which we all are, with dignity, direction, and purpose. The only thing that could ever go wrong is you allow something to affect your dignity, which skews your direction and your purpose. Everything that's going on around you, everybody, is designed to do that. Because if an new age wasn't coming, and we weren't sit here as guardians and protectors of that age with sound, music, presentations, and defying all natural laws, then this age would not be the golden one we talked about. And if you look at what the Maya say, and I just came from there, I just came from the Yucatan yesterday, and I was looking at a new set of pyramids that's roughly 2100 BCE, and they've just discovered them, which revolutionizes the Maya culture. And when you stop to think about accuracy, the Maya calendar counts down. It doesn't go into the future. It counts from a certain point backwards to the end. And when it goes backwards to the end, it sets up, they had the knowledge of setting up for 25,920 years, the procession through the equinox, the true birth of a new age, and a solar eclipse today. They would, for 25,920 years, 365 days a year. They have known there were 365 days in a year, 1,000 years before anybody else did. And they count each day down. So looking at that and realizing we are at the pivot point and we must make decisions. We must make decisions about being helpless, being lonely, and holding the light. And people, when you said, think of something that you'd like people to use to change and transform. Well, what everybody else said, what Elizabeth said, and what Lisa said. I mean, I would always look at what do you put on that list that God is and like one of them. And take, the things that you list, God, caring, loving, compassion, pick one of those and become the best there is at it. Because then you're practicing being God with specific. I defend the dying. I defend the death process. And that's where two or more gather in my name, so shall I be among you. Well, by doing that, then I have living proof that those words are true, because what I have seen at the bedside over my 43 years as a hospice volunteer and my 34,000 hours at the bedside and my 2,012 people I've been with going from this world to the next. And I've been dead so many times, it's like a comedy routine, that I have a grip on that space between here, the process of dying, the end point, the transition, and all the struggles that come with coming back. I know pain. I understand how modern medicine and science operates and what happens. So in the course of that, I can promise you, everybody, you can take this as a fact. We're at an age whereby not doing what you're hearing the people telling you tonight to do, and not making the decision about who you are, practicing being a God, and design it in such a way that it outmaneuvers everything that wants to stop you. Nothing stops me from hospice. Nothing stops me from writing books about it. And nothing stops me to help creating programs. I created the Twilight Brigade, as most of you know, which was one of the largest end-of-life care volunteer programs for dying veterans. And I got it from an idea from Mary Ann, who's coming on. Because when I had the third near-death experience doing brain surgery, I got a chance to see a world that people get trapped in. The Catholics call it purgatory, which they made up. The Tibetans call it the bardo. But this level of consciousness exists, and people who've been betrayed and people who've been abused, nobody has to go down the tunnel. You'll eventually go, but you don't have to go. And so when I came back to create the Twilight Brigade for dying veterans because of AIDS, I just kept expanding it. And now the United States Veterans Affairs has something now called No Vet Die Alone, which I'm one of the co-writers of it. So I put in my program in end-of-life care and made it a standardized working model in the Veterans Administration for veterans in transition and their caregivers and family as a protocol program. I'm quite proud of that. But I picked the defending the dying because of the horrors we put people through because of advancements in modern medicine. And when I saw all this, I had to do something. Everybody knows that for 45 years, I have said that the battle for the souls of humankind would be fought in healthcare. I wrote a book about it 26 years ago based on something that happened 45 years ago. And if anybody looks at Saved by the Light and they go to chapter 5 and the title of the chapter is Technology and the Virus, and cut on the television and tell me what I missed. The describing of the virus, the vaccine, the shot, the whole purpose of chipping and all that stuff I wrote about. And why? Because we've all lived for this time. This is the time that's this year, 22. We have lived for this time to make the right decision, the right time, at the right place, with the right power, with the right conviction. Okay? And keep your heart open and pick one of the things you think God is. And you pray and hope that God is in your life. What God is, what the Christ is, what consciousness is. Pick one of them and specialize in it as your life's work, not to consume you, but as your life's work. And you work at it, plan it every day, just like me in hospice. Okay, I live among the dying. I know what the dying looks for, thinks about, what they need, what happens to the family structure as transition occurs. And I've been doing it for 43 years, and I know what's on the other side, and I know what's next. Not from story or some deal, but I've been declared dead and had near-death experiences, but I've had 2 death experiences. So right there's where I put my life based on these events. You don't need that. You don't need that to happen to you. All you need to do is your life here. And one of the meanings of your life is to practice being a God. But what does God do that practices you being? In the Bible, there's 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 1 through 12, the gifts of the Spirit. And there are 9 of them. I think that's a pretty interesting start. Because you got to pick at it, and you pick one, and you got to work at it. And it doesn't matter what everybody else is saying and doing and thinking and forming opinions about it. You should practice being a God. And now here's the most important thing, guys. We need you who are here to tell everybody who lives in the area of San Mateo, San Francisco, and all those outlines. If you know somebody, you call them. We need people coming. We need a show of force. We need the divine nature of us coming and looking at ways and things and arts and celebrating the fact that we will not be lonely and that we can have each other. Helplessness and loneliness is the two toughest things to have to face when your job is practicing being a god. And your superpower is that you are already a god. So everybody, I cannot wait to see Corinne and Kenny. And we have been friends. I mean, we are really close friends. I love them. You know, I love them. And I've been doing this show as long as Kenny has. And I've been out here 40 years. I think me and Marianne are like and maybe Bruce, we're like the last vestige of that old guard. Okay, when you think about it, the rest of them has journeyed to the next round. But I'd like to also thank Scott, too, Kenny and Corinne, because Scott's been doing this every night, every week since this insanity started that we call a shutdown. That could make us feel helpless and that make us alone. And when you can take helplessness and alone and you can combine them, you are forcing yourself to accept the real life. In the divine, you're never helpless and you're never alone. But to practice being a god so we prove something to something higher than ourselves. There's something else that needs to see us be this, helpless and alone, not as powerful beings, not as war, or like my nature is to defend, to hold a certain position at all costs, and I will hold that position at all costs. And I know that nature about me. But the point is the day of reckoning for all of us and then more of us to come together in that mindset. And there's no greater place than to get there than coming to Kenny and Corinne's program next weekend in San Mateo. And I'm asking everybody, and I know that Mel, it's Kenny, it's Light Streamers. You know where it is. It's lightstreamers.com. And send this to Mel because I can get that out to like 40 or 50,000 people. And I didn't think about this because I was in the jungle. And so please send it to Light Streamers, to send it to Kit, to Mr. Mebane. Bless you. And send it to Mr. Mebane and get him to put it out now.
Hey, Daniel, I want to thank you so much for all the times that you are on our shows, all that you do. And I want to acknowledge for a moment your dedication to being of service. For people who've watched us on the show before, you've heard me tell the story. I've watched Daniel at hospice. I've watched him take a young man who is terrified of death, hold him, hug him, take him up and show him what really happens when he leaves his body. And then this man, oh my God, there is a heaven. I'm going to be okay. And Daniel has been doing that for 45 years, doing hospice work. And I so appreciate, Daniel, your commitment to all the thousands of people whose lives you've impacted through your commitment and your service work. And, you know, you pointed out Marianne, who's going to be up in a moment, Kenny, and it's so important. All of us need to find our own unique dharma, our own unique service. Thank you.
Practicing being a god. Scott, when you frame it in the proper term, just like what Lisa was saying, in order to enter those levels, then I can go to heaven. You've seen me do it. You see me take someone, you talk about a shared near-death experience, I can wrap you up and bring you across that border. It's nothing to me. Over there ain't over there. Okay. And if you know me, like you know me, mind reading, that's all funny. I make fun of people doing it. Okay. We are spiritual beings. We block so much of our greatness so that we can perform a function in a certain environment, helpless and alone. And loneliness comes because we're designed to have interactions with people and learn to love and appreciate and change. Okay. And this force, people who read Saved by the Light, the final vision, this force says this: we heroes, all those beings, all those light beings, all of those aliens and terrestrials and tall Nordics and all of that crowd, they watch us. Everyone watches this beings of such might and power, like the mightiest of them, to humble themselves, to come in and to believe a lie, so they can show helplessness and loneliness is not more powerful than the service to the divine. And once that is locked into place, the mindset and the psychology is in place for you to enter the realm. I can go there breathing. I can listen to the sound and tone of a person's voice. And then I listen to the conjugations of the verb when I've set certain patterns, and I can cross that veil. And if there's somebody who needs to connect with them, because I do this a lot in end of life, and it's just me and them there. And it's okay for grandmother to come. It's okay that they could come, because look how I've had tens of thousands of hours. When it's one-on-one in the middle of the night and they need to talk to grandmother, that's not a problem for me. Okay? That's not a problem, because it's to help that person get to that place. Okay, and you know what? This is the last thing, and I'll be quiet. Everybody who leaves this world, Scott, is going to have a panoramic life review. They're going, and now I just saw Paul Perry sent me 2 scientific studies that, based on where the firing of the brain at death is, they've concluded that based at where that brain holds information is still firing after you're dead. It's about memory and recall. So they're hypothecating that they've now scientifically found a basis that people see their life review as they go from this world to the next. Well, every person who's ever had one of these puppies knows that that's true. So watch. If I hold true to what it is, the defendant of the dying, and the panoramic life review says I'm going to see my entire life pass before me in a 360-degree panorama. And I'm going to watch it from a second-person point of view as if I was my own best friend. And I'm going to literally become every person that I ever encountered. I'm going to feel the direct results of my interaction between me and that person. And I'm going to ask myself this question. If God couldn't come today and God had sent me, in the life I just reviewed, what difference did me and God make? I preached that based on the panoramic life review. Well, think of that. And why do I have so many tens of thousands of hours at the bedside? It's easy. In my last life review, I was probably through 2005 being at the bedside. And I've been at the bedside of 351 people going from this world to the next. And in this last open heart surgery, dropped dead twice, had to be resuscitated 3 times. Oh my God, oh my God. 3 times I've been able to see that person in transition look up in my eyes. And I could see looking up their eyes when they see they're not helpless and they're not alone, because I am there. I don't know what greatness people look for in their life. And I don't know how they define the powers and the nature at which they exist and function, and all the gobbledygook they attach to it. But in the most horrible place that we recognize, and most people, because of the pandemic, are scared to death of death. Well, that stuff's all funny. The only thing you have to be scared of is you letting something affect your dignity and not correcting it. Because you excuse your direction and your purpose, and you've had a pandemic, you got world war, you have everything it takes to keep you from focusing on your spiritual self as opposed to focusing on your helplessness and your loneliness. But I can promise you this, everybody's got to have that panoramic life review. And it's coming, and it doesn't matter about all the conversations we're having now. It's the reason why we're having it. And the reason I'm having this conversation is I love and appreciate you that every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night, you put your heart in this, And you and Debbie, and you've put this thing together and you've held it together in the community. And whenever you ask me to come, I'm coming. And for Kenny and Karina, come on. I mean, I remember when Kenny was doing the expo, working for some newspaper, off his credit card, worrying to death about if it was going to make it and being as tight as he could because it was every bit on him by himself. And he's raising 2 girls and working a job. And you think I'm not going to show up when you see that kind of dedication and that kind of courage and that 20 years that he's been doing this? Come on. This is the person that you come and honor. And for Corinne to put up with him, then she needs to be honored too. Okay?
Thank you, Dick.
Thank you, Dan.
Well, because listen,
She's honored.
we are at such a critical place in our history. I've been writing about it for 40 years. I've been talking about it. It's now. You want to play the best hand you ever played, or you won't. Okay? Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean you disappear? No. You wander aimlessly controlled, knowing you allowed yourself to be controlled. By coming this weekend, next weekend,
Thanks, Dan.
people take the controls off.
Daniel, thank you so
Take-
much.
take
And
the shackles off.
we've got to move forward, Daniel. We're running late and Marianne's
I'm done.
waiting.
Goodbye. I love you.
We love you so much. And just a quick reminder, everybody, that you can support Daniel and his work by going to the twilightbrigade.com. The twilightbrigade.com.
Light streamers. Scott, put light streamers.
Okay.
Lightstreamers.com. Mr. Mevin.
All right.
Male mentor, yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Mevin. You know, kid, he's funny.
Yeah. He's been around forever too. 35
But he's
years,
been
by the way,
with me.
Daniel.
He's been with me 40 years.
Yeah.
And he hosts the thing, and I don't care.
Thank
He's
you,
been with
Daniel.
me 40
Thank
years.
you.
Well,
You'll keep going. I know if we don't stop you, so we have to stop you.
So there's light streamers. You can learn all about what's going on with Daniel and his good work there. And of course, Debbie Johnston is putting it into the thing. Daniel, we love you. Thank you so much for being with us tonight and all your love, all your wisdom, all your support.
You'll hear lots more of him at the show twice.
Absolutely. So
If you're
again,
lucky, you'll get a hug from him.
that's right.
the program is.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
Uh-oh.
wait, Scott.
Yes, Daniel.
Scott, the program is the fourfold path to power. The 4 steps to avoid all the other stuff. If you just follow the 4 steps, you will get to where I was just talking about. And that's the presentation this Saturday. And then I have one Friday night. Please tell everybody to come, everybody. We
will be there with joy.
And you have a booth too, Daniel.
You have a booth, Daniel, too, right? Oh,
Yeah.
don't ask him about the booth.
I'm putting the spotlight on Marianne, who's been patiently, yay! And, how can we follow Daniel Brickley? Only Marianne Williamson, I think, could probably pull off following Daniel. Marianne, thank you for your service. I know that you were just helping a down ballot candidate. I've watched you work so much with so many people, really helping to change our world. And thank you for taking the time to come on and be on the Awakening World and to share your wisdom. And we're all looking forward to seeing you in person again, finally, next weekend at the New Living Expo. So thank you so much for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here with all of you. In the Course in Miracles, there's that line, an idea grows stronger when it is shared. And so many of us, first of all, someone like Daniel and myself, we go back many years. And I think those of us who join on programs like this, we have a sense that there's a kind of pod action, So many of the things we talk about are things that we all already know by now. We've all read the same books. We've all listened to the same tapes, watched the same videos. So we don't really come together on nights like tonight, or even in San Mateo on May 7th, So much because we're going to hear something we don't already know. We come together at this point in order to access more deeply the things which by now we do already know. And that's really important, this idea that the era of data collection is over. And we've entered into an era of application now. You know, the Course in Miracles says enlightenment begins as an intellectual abstract concept that then makes a journey without distance from the head to the heart. So a lot of these spiritual principles that we all need to know at this time, we kind of know. And that's when the work begins. That's not when it's over, that's when it begins. And there's a line in the Course in Miracles also where it says, it's not up to you what you learn. It's merely up to you whether you learn through joy or through pain. So we're living at a time on the planet where it's time to apply these things. And the pain of not applying them is becoming worse and worse because there's almost a feeling as though humanity's grace period is over. You know, look at something even like environmental destruction. You know, Jimmy Carter had solar panels on the top of the White House back in the 1970s. If we had gone green back then, none of this stuff would be happening that we're all so upset about today. There are so many ways in which there have been accumulated layers of malfeasance and mistakes and selfishness and greed and just the mistakes that we've made in our own lives that have taken us to a point on the planet now where we're all aware, we're aware as individuals and we're aware collectively that something must change. I remember reading once about how little chickens get born. So what happens is little chickens inside the eggshell, right? When it's time for the chicken to break through, to peck out of the eggshell, what happens is that when it is time, a noxious gas fills the inside of the eggshell. And also at that time, the mommy chicken instinctively knows where to peck on the eggshell so that the little baby chicken inside knows that's where I break through. So it's incredible the way nature sets up the chicken to be born, but with the noxious gas, the chicken is literally dying to be born. It cannot stay where it is. And that's where we are now. We must change. And we've all had certain points in our lives where we know I've got to change. I can't keep living the way I've been living. And now at this point, I think humanity knows something must radically change. The bankruptcy of the entire order of things with which we have been governing ourselves collectively is clearly not working. Now, we can't just take some broad stroke and fix the world. This is how we'll fix America. This is how we'll fix Europe. This is how we'll fix the environment. This is how we'll fix Africa. This is how we'll fix Russia. This is how we'll fix China. It doesn't work that way. And we know, as metaphysicians, we know that the entire world is embodied in each of our lives. So the Course in Miracles says you can't know the best part that you would play in this healing web of possibility that is now emerging. You know, the universe works like a GPS. When you've taken a wrong turn, the GPS automatically recalibrates in order to take another turn. What's happened now is that humanity has taken a really wrong turn. And yet the recalibration is at play. And each and every one of us are assigned the part. The Course in Miracles says you can't know where your skills best fit in, where your successes best fit in, where your talents best fit in, where what you learn from your failures best fit in. You can't know. But as we graduate beyond, well, what do I want to do with my life too? How can I be best of service at this extraordinary moment of rebirth on the planet where humanity is literally dying to be reborn? We can't continue the way we are. If we continue being the people we have been, it is unreasonable to assume we will still be thriving on this planet in another 100 years. You know, sometimes people look at people like us and go, oh, we're so naive. No. What's naive is to think that if we continue the way we have been on this planet, the way we treat the earth, the way we treat other nations, among ourselves, that it's what's naive is to think that we will be able to continue for another 100 years. A radical break with the past is a sophisticated look at things, but that radical break with the past must be done tenderly. That's why when Daniel talks about being hospice workers, we must be death doulas and birth doulas right now. We must be death doulas to that which must die now, as well as birth doulas to that which is being born. Why do we go to something like the event on May 7th? Like I said, not because we're going to learn principles that we don't already know, because most of this is not really that new at this point. The issue is to take it down more deeply, that it goes from here down to here and down to the gut, that we are accessing these things so that we are not just learning the information intellectually, but so that we are viscerally becoming it, so that we are embodying things at a new level. And that is the meaning of this moment. That is the zeitgeist of this moment. And it's so great to be coming out of COVID now. It's so great that we're going to have the opportunity to be with each other again, because there's something about sharing molecules. You can go pretty far on Zoom. Zoom's proven itself pretty amazing, actually. But there's something about the fact that we can be in rooms together again, the fact that we can share molecules, the fact that we can have that feeling of electricity when people in the same room are having those aha moments at the same time. At this point, we have no time to tarry, both in our own individual lives and in terms of the collective rebirth on the planet. And so what people are going through now is this, like in the Course in Miracles, there's a prayer every morning. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me say? And to whom? Just like the cells in the body are assigned to the place where it would go, you to the pancreas, you to the lungs, you to the heart, you to the bones. Each and every one of us are assigned. You to the arts, you to education, you to teaching, you to writing, you, whatever it is, that's our assignment. And today we have a collective assignment of being immune cells in a very wounded state of humanity. How can I best be of use is the question. Now, the Course in Miracles says that everybody's life in every situation is a highly individualized curriculum. Everywhere we are, every situation, every encounter, we are both invited to be a better version of ourselves and challenged. Challenge. Are you going to play this the way you played it before? Are you going to fall back into your weaker patterns of victimization and whatever your particular character defect is? Or are you going to take a deeper breath and say, I want to die to that weaker person that I used to be. I want to die to that harsher person that I used to be. I want to die to that needy person I used to be. I want to die to that demanding person I used to be. I want to die to that addicted person, to that procrastinator, to whatever the games that we know we've been playing with ourselves for far too long. And I want to be born to a better expression. Where I have been harsh, may I become gentle. Where I have been weak, may I become strong. Where I have been judgmental or blaming, may I be forgiving and more understanding. And we come to understand that every single situation, every encounter, every relationship, the Course in Miracles says every relationship is an assignment. Because we are brought together with people in relationship with whom we all have a maximal opportunity for soul growth. And the reason it's important is because this circle of atonement, this circle of healing is not only how each and every one of us become a better expression of ourselves, but so that collectively we are co-creating and giving birth to a better state of humanity. So every time we go through something and we go, oh, this is that same lesson again, you kind of get into a point in your life, I've seen it in mine, where this situation has come around so many times. It can't be an accident that the same situation is coming around again. And the common denominator every time it came around again was me. So dear God, show me how to play it differently. Because that's what humanity is being challenged to right now. Do it differently. do agriculture differently, do energy differently, do foreign affairs differently, do economics differently, do government differently, do everything differently, because what you're doing now is not working. What you're doing now does not support the web of life. What you're doing now does not support the highest expression of love on the planet. And sometimes we don't even know how to do it differently. Sometimes, it's just these mental habit patterns, not just in terms of the collective, but in terms of our own individual lives. We're just doing it the way we've always done it because we don't even know how to do it any differently. But the more deeply we dwell through meditation, through practice, through mindfulness, and on any given day, ask, how can I dig more deeply that I can be more powerful in the world? How can I go into the vertical? The Course in Miracles says miracles are everyone's right, but purification is necessary first. Miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The world can miraculously heal. We can miraculously improve. However, we have to be willing to discard those layers of personality, those layers of habit patterns, both individually and collectively, that obstruct love, obstruct compassion, and obstruct forgiveness. As we do dwell more deeply in the realm of just wanting to be more perfect expressions of love, wanting to be more available to receive love and to give love, then we begin to just vibrate at a higher level. And as we do that, we invite people into our experience who are going through the same kind of transformation. The Course in Miracles says that as you do these things, it says there will come a time when you will not be alone, for you will be joined by mighty companions. That's what I think about, like that event at San Mateo. We will be joined by mighty companions. We will be joined by people who are like us, opening ourselves to a new kind of life. And as we do that, the Course in Miracles says you will have a light in your eye. And those who have the same light in your eye will recognize that light in yours. And those who don't have that light in their eyes will look at you and wonder where you got yours. So that's what's going on. At the same time that a sort of material structure is just discombobulating, these two worlds, these two realms are existing simultaneously. On one hand, it's as though the fall of Rome and one world just seems to be falling apart in front of us. And at the same time, a new world is struggling to be born. And each of us has a part to play that is unique. The universe in that sense is a perfect ecosystem. Each and every one of us has a unique part to play. Nobody can play the part that you can play. Nobody can play the part that I can play. And the Course in Miracles tells us that each of us is given direction by the voice for God for the part that we can best play, where God would have us go, what God would have us do in order to be of greatest use at this time. And the Spirit of God is going to tell you what to do. God's not going to tell me what you're supposed to do. The Spirit of God's going to tell me what to do. The Spirit of God's not going to tell you what I'm supposed to do. We have a full-time career just monitoring our own process. How did I do today? Where was I showing up and where was I not showing up? And it's amazing because you begin to realize with every passing hour, just encounters, sometimes casual encounters, sometimes big encounters. Where did you play it from the weakness that might have become a habit pattern? And where did you reach for something bigger? Where did you stand in the possibility that you could be a more powerful person, a more loving person, a more compassionate person, a more understanding person? And in that field of collective love, with enough of us trying in our own lives to the best of our ability to show up at a higher level, we are co-creating with people all over the world a new possibility for the planet. We were born for such times as these. They're difficult times. A real adult right now is looking very soberly at what's happening on the planet. But God knows that it's a difficult time and God has sent help. God has sent you. So it's not like, oh, God sent somebody. God's already sent somebody. He sent each and every one of us. And when we take seriously the notion that we were born for such times as these, then we realize that, as the Course in Miracles says, the people who have achieved the most on the planet have achieved a fraction of what each and every one of us is capable of. We're like those little chickens just being born, but that birth is just the beginning. We are just beginning. And once again, the people who have achieved the most have achieved a fraction of what each of us is capable of. What any of us have achieved in our lives is a fraction of what we're capable of achieving. So this is time to salute one another. This is the time to really be there for one another, to help each other actualize our dreams. This is not a time to neglect one another. It's not a time to abandon one another. It is a time to try deeply to understand one another, to really remember that it's hard for everybody right now. Everybody is in this struggle right now, trying to give birth to something better, someone better than we have been before. And if each of us will just step it up just a little, step it up just a little. That's what I tell myself sometimes, just step it up a little today, Marianne. Lean in, just try to be a little better. And you start to feel like process and progress is being made. And I see it on the planet. We all can see evidence of some things that are going very, very wrong on this earth. But we can also see evidence of things that are going very, very good. New things are being born. New possibilities are emerging. And to the extent to which we try to stand on higher possibility in our own lives, we will find ourselves experiencing the thrill of co-creation, doing the same thing with our brothers and sisters. So I'm looking forward to being with everybody in San Mateo. Looking forward to the opportunity to be in a room full of people who I know, like myself, are leaning in to the higher possibilities for our lives, and knowing that we are part of a global movement by which humanity itself is being reborn. So I'll see you on May 7th. I'm so looking forward to it. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you tonight. And I so look forward to the opportunity to be with all of you in San Mateo.
Marianne, I want to just briefly really remind people about how they can study Course in Miracles with you. You first kind of turned us on to it about a year ago, and I joined. And she's got a wonderful program called Mornings with Marianne. And of course, you've heard her reference Course in Miracles several times tonight. And this is a wonderful course. Now, some of us, I took the Course in Miracles with you back in West LA about 25 years ago, Marianne.
Wow.
So
we probably even, yeah.
We go back a ways. But you know, whether you've taken it before or it's brand new, it is a wonderful course. And I just noticed today your Facebook post about how you woke up in the morning and you were feeling funky and you hadn't done your own Course in Miracles work. And then you realize, yeah, I didn't do Course in Miracles this morning, and you went back and you did it. Here's someone who's been teaching it for a long time. And even yourself, going back and doing it again. And so it's so important every day for us to have some sort of a practice. And your practice of Mornings with Marianne is wonderful. So,
well, thank you. You know, it's like what you were talking, like we were talking about earlier, just knowing the principles, you know, oh, she's written books about the principles. Knowing the principles really is just the beginning of it. You know, spiritual practice is like physical exercise. You never get to stop. You never get to like look in the mirror and say, oh, I like the way my hips look, so I don't have to do exercise anymore. You know, if you stop doing it, the muscles get flabby. Well, our attitudinal muscles get flabby too. So you never get to stop. You never graduate. And the other thing is, you might have noticed with the article that I wrote this morning, it wasn't just that I hadn't done the Course in Miracles yet. It's that I turned on my phone.
Right.
And I think really facing this addictive quality of social media and how it's affecting us. And I saw it really dramatically this morning because I wrote about that. That's on my Instagram, it's on my Facebook, but also on my Substack. And people can go to mariannewilliamson.substack.com for the articles that I write about stuff like that.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Marianne, for being with us. I'm going to bring Kenny on so he can thank you a little bit.
Thank you. Karina and I are very proud to present Marianne again at the New Living Expo. Yes, it's been a 2-year hiatus, and you stuck with us all these 2 years. Can you extend? Can you extend? Yes, yes. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Thank
We are so
you.
grateful for you. And I look forward to seeing you, everybody, 4 o'clock Saturday, May 8th. May 7th.
Oh, it's May 8th? I thought
May
it was, is it
7th.
May
May
7th?
7th. Oh, no. Don't mess that up. Yeah.
After all we've been through, I come on the wrong day.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, we can't do that. No, we wouldn't do that. So May 7th at 4 o'clock for 2 hours, and then she'll follow it with a book signing. So thank you for that. And we will be seeing you live and in person in just 1 week from today, almost about the same time or a little bit earlier.
Excellent.
So thank you again.
Thank you. I so look forward to it. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thanks again, Marianne.
Thank you.
Well, we still have a lot of wonderful show ahead of us. We've got Laura Eisenhower, who's going to be with us. We've got coming back Celestine Starr. We've got Mystical Joyride and Davis Seva going to be playing again. And I'm going to actually do most of my Global Peace Tribe announcements at the end of the show, since I want to get to our presenters, and we are running a little bit late. But I do want to remind you of 2 things right off the bat. One is tomorrow. We continue, every weekend we take a topic and we spend the whole weekend. Last weekend it was all about the how to work with making every day Earth Day. This weekend, of course, it's all about the New Living Expo. And tomorrow we've got another group of amazing presenters. We've got John Gray is going to be joining us. And John hasn't been on Awakening World yet. He was on Saturday Night Live quite frequently. So we're looking forward to seeing him again. Also, Lisa Barnett, Suzanne Ross, Maureen will be visiting with Kenny and myself. So don't miss that. Also want to let you know that next weekend, we are going to be having a wonderful collaboration. And I'm going to put the spotlight on her. I don't know if she knows that I was doing this or not. But this is going to be my co-host next week, Reverend Deborah Moldow. She is who helps to run the Evolutionary Leaders Network. And we are going to be doing a show dedicated all weekend to the release of a very important book called Our Moment of Choice. It's an anthology with 40 different presenters. Just like Kenny has all these great speakers, Deborah has all these wonderful authors who are going to be with us, who have written chapters of the book. Reverend Michael Beckwith, Deepak Chopra, a really extraordinary group of people. So next weekend, it's you, Deborah, in the co-host chair. And anything you want to share about the weekend?
Well, I'd just like to say that this program has been so inspiring about how this is our moment of choice. And Danny Brinkley was talking about how it's time for us to take on our divine qualities. And Marianne was talking about us learning to be birth doulas and death doulas and birth doulas at the same time, because this moment is so critical for human history, and everybody gets to play a part. So next week, we'll talk about the paperback release of Our Moment of Choice, where 43 evolutionary leaders have contributed all kinds of exciting ideas about how every one of us can be part of this moment and make these choices that are going to bring us into a whole new reality for all of humanity and our precious planet that we share. So please join us next weekend.
Beautiful. Thank you. Yeah. And here's the poster for it. And we've just added Deepak Chopra is going to be with us. Reverend Michael Beckwith is going to be with us. And all those beautiful souls that you see in the poster and more. So again, next Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. Whether it's Kenny doing it live at the New Living Expo, whether it's Deborah and the wonderful work she does with the Evolutionary Leaders Network, it's all about creating community. And I'm really excited about our collaboration with a wonderful new partner who is going to be with us. And where did she go? I'm looking for Tangela to turn on her camera. Tangela Islam is a wonderful new friend who we're working with, and she has created Soul Search. And I'm going to play a little video that will introduce you to what she's doing, and then we're going to meet Tangela.
During these extraordinary times, are you seeking friends and collaborators like-minded, brilliant, beautiful souls who want to be a part of creating the new earth? Here is the answer. Welcome to Soul Search. Soul Search is the high-frequency global online destination for spirituality and consciousness, where people from around the globe like you come together for spiritual exploration. This is a multi-dimensional community for spiritual seekers, healers, teachers, and guides for the global awakening. With Soul Search, the spiritual seeker can easily search for and connect with healing modalities, spiritual teachings, practices, and practitioners. You can explore high vibrational online and in-person spiritual events across the globe. Within the Soul Search community, you can join groups or take courses for your spiritual journey. With Soul Search, you are part of an inclusive, growing global community for consciousness. For spiritually conscious practitioners, Soul Search connects you to a global audience seeking your services. Build your credibility with a robust profile that demonstrates your expertise and experience. Post client reviews, articles, videos, photos, and audio. You can create secure and private online communities for your groups and clients. Be a part of an awakening community for spirituality where you can collaborate and connect with practitioners and seekers. As our gift to the Global Peace Tribe, we have created a group in the Soul Search community where Global Peace Tribe members can connect, share, and create together for the global consciousness awakening. Whether you are a spiritual seeker, healer, or just curious, join soulsearch.io today. Don't miss out on this opportunity to be part of our high vibrational community for the global awakening. We're excited to be connecting with your soul and radiant light.
Welcome, Tangela, and thank you so much for creating Soul Search. It's the next step. It's the way that all of us online can connect with each other and then learn about events like the New Living Expo. And you're going to actually be at the New Living Expo next weekend. You're flying in from Sedona to the Bay Area to be with us.
Exactly. Hi, Scott. So great to be here with you and everyone else tonight. Thank you. I'm actually here at Unity Church in Sedona, where we had a full day of a psychic and healing fair, a mini New Living Expo. And I'm really excited to be at the New Living Expo next weekend with Soul Search and getting to meet a lot of you guys in person. And just wanted to thank you and Deborah for creating the Global Peace Tribe and the Awakening World, and Ken and Karina for creating the New Living Expo, because, you know, with Soul Search, I just feel like this is the next generation of what you guys have created and where you guys have been paving the way for so long. And as Marianne said, like, you know, we are at a juncture in our awakening. And this is a time where people are really looking to come together from all over the world to really connect with themselves, to release old programs and paradigms so that we can really connect with who we truly are and bring in this new earth together. And, you know, Soul Search is for all of us who, you know, have been on the spiritual path in this journey together, all of us, you know, in the Global Peace Tribe, but also for all of the newcomers, everyone who's just now looking around and saying, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. You know, I feel so constricted. I'm not resonating with this world that I'm told that I'm supposed to be living in today. And where can I go to start looking and feeling differently? And with Soul Search, you know, we really wanted to create a platform where people could start connecting with different healers, to start, you know, looking at, okay, where can I start releasing some of these old programs, and where can I start connecting with myself, and then also connecting to a new community, so much bigger than, you know, than what we know in our, you know, in our just everyday lives. So yeah, so I'm super excited that, you know, you guys are a part of Soul Search and that we're working together to do this work, because we're all here for the ascension and the global awakening together.
Well, thank you for playing your role so beautifully. And we look forward to meeting you in person next weekend at the New Living Expo.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to being there. We'll be having a booth. So hopefully for all of you who are there, feel free to stop by and say hello. Thank you.
Thank you, Tangela. All right. Just a reminder, everybody, we're running a little bit late, so thank you for your patience. But we're really excited because Laura Eisenhower is next. And here's Kenny to introduce her.
Yes, Laura is one of our longtime speakers too. She's been with us for many, many years. Laura is a global alchemist, researcher, and medical intuitive astrologist. She is internationally acclaimed speaker who has presented her work worldwide, and she's the great granddaughter of Dwight D. Eisenhower. Just one great? Okay, not two greats. One great, which is plenty enough. She's considered by many to be one of North America's leading researchers on health, exopolitics, alchemy, metaphysics, and galactic history. Her website's cosmicgaia.org. And Laura, thank you for being here. You chimed in at the perfect time. You made it. And all the way from beautiful Big Sky, Montana. She's coming in for the New Living Expo live and in person. Thank you for being part of the New Living Expo continuously for many years. And it's going to be great seeing you. So let's take it over for a few more minutes. Great. Thank you.
Oh, I'm thrilled to be a part of it. Oh, man. Been just looking forward to this. I enjoyed what everybody has had to share. And when you read the bio and you say global alchemist and just like tuning into what Marianne had to say, and I caught the tail end of what Daniel had to say, you know, this is the alchemy. This is the transformation. This is, you know, we've gone through so much, you know, together personally. And we're like, you know, in this sort of life review, as we maintain the physical in this sort of death rebirth process as a humanity, as a collective. And it's just incredible to share together because it doesn't matter what angle we're coming from. Our diversity is the greatest blessing. I mean, that is the abundance that I like really am like feeling into, you know, just like a garden, you know, the diversity is what sustains ecosystems, you know. Doesn't matter how we reach the similar goal. The fact that we can hold mutual love and respect and understanding of the particular ways that we go about just emerging in these times with all that we're faced with is a really beautiful thing. And I really look forward to, you know, just sharing about a lot of things that, you know, sort of have been distorted, almost, you know, not wanting to go in the past so much, but just sort of repairing the highway system of our mental minds, of where disinformation and distortions have made it very difficult to access our greater memories so that we can, you know, get activated and hold space for these wonderful epiphanies that just bring us closer together. Because really adversity is an opportunity. In the face of adversity and challenge, we have like one of two choices. Are we going to get closer to ourselves? Are we going to get to know ourselves more? Are we going to have more solid connections and relationships? Are we going to bond in the face of these challenges? Or are we going to, you know, go into a place of victimization or conflict and divide and conquer and judgment, or, you know, all the different things that can make it, you know, chaotic and painful and difficult. And I just feel like the intention of everybody that is going to be at this event that is holding such a high vibration of love and unity consciousness and this greater love frequency, which to me, the elixir, the alchemical substance that turns the lead of this human experience into gold. And I really feel it's going to ignite something huge for the collective consciousness. And it's going to be a great family reunion of, you know, so many, you know, friends that, you know, it's been a while since we've seen each other in person. And, you know, telling stories and sharing information and, you know, like finding that space with each other to, you know, really learn and grow from one another and truly blossom, you know, because this is what this is what we signed up for. This is what we know it's all about. And I just feel the strength in this gathering and just being here with all of us in person together is going to unveil, you know, the masterpiece of that intention and the beauty of the, you know, the butterfly and the phoenix rising. And so, yeah, I'll go into a lot of the different alignments that really support this, what's happening on a cosmic and earthly level, and how all the things that, you know, break us down and make us feel like, you know, it's really tough to navigate, you know, what the sources of that is, but understanding like the power of the mind and our perception and how we can like participate in healing it and healing, you know, history, just like we have to go into our own self when we heal from any trauma or disease or affliction that we've gone through in our own personal lives. We all have so many unique ways to address this beautiful process of growth, so that the most painful and difficult things, begin to turn into jewels of wisdom. The treasure troves that exist within our soul can be unveiled, so that we recognize the abundance and the richness of spirit that has many different ways of expressing itself. But it can only really blossom with the acknowledgement of just like how much we love one another, ourselves, and the world, future generations, our children, this planet, the cosmos, and everything under the sun from the beginning of time, to really nurture this unbelievable human experience. Spirits having a human experience. We are going to blast out what this experience has been all about, and really share with each other the beauty of it all. And really, I feel the energetic of war is going to be transformed into something unbelievable. Duality is going to begin to integrate. Polarity is going to integrate, and miracles and magic are going to emerge. And there's so much art, and there's so many things, and there's so much that all of us have written or expressed throughout our lives and in many lives. I really feel the gardens blossoming right now, and I'm just very honored and grateful to be in company with just so many of you that I love and respect.
Laura, one of the things that we've asked all of our guests to do tonight is to provide one simple tool for transformation. And of course, we're going to hear from Celestine and Lori Grace in a minute. But what's, during these last 2 years, what's a tool that's helped you that you could share with our audience?
Oh, help me? Well, gosh, I mean, I think it's just the animals in my life, my children, my husband, just and just how much, when you care so much that you realize you're suffering because you love so much, you care so much that might be like more of the problem than anything else. It's not about right or wrong, or like I have all the answers or this or that. It's just like you just love and you care so much. You just want everybody to be okay. It doesn't mean that one's ideas are better than somebody else's. No, it's about putting our resources together so that people can realize like the options that they have, the freedom that they have to decide, okay, this works for me. I actually wrote something about this tonight, like going to a buffet. We were to go to a buffet with a plate of food. We're not all going to put the same things on the plate to ingest, right? But we have the freedom to be able to say, oh, I'm going to have a little bit of this, and I'll put this sauce on, and a bit of this salad, and maybe some of these potatoes. It's just like the freedom to just say, it's all out on the table. What do you want to put on your plate? What do you want to ingest? And maybe, something didn't really like feel good that you ingested. Okay, so, we're holding space and we're appreciating, just learning that discernment and helping each other to be sovereign while unifying at the same time. And so I think for me, just like the animals, like I'm a mother of 3 baby goats, and it's just been the hugest thing, having my children living here on this land with me. And when the mother goat died and I was all of a sudden a mother to 3 little babies, just being able to interact in that way with the North Node Capricorn, right? Goat. I was just like really tapping into the medicine, and nature has always been, medicine, and just, really paying attention to what's showing up in your life. What is the medicine that's showing up in your life? Instead of like, being like, oh yeah, I can't, it's like too much, it's like feeling into it all and just being like, the medicine surrounds us. The voices of our own healing and transformation is just with us all the time. And we constantly create, the antidote in the face of every adversity and challenge and pain that we are up against. And these beautiful miracles just show up. And so a lot of the interesting things that have manifested for me in the last 2 years have been without, just, because I've been working, just over there, like, trying to finish my book, and I've got 3 books coming out. It's just like, just making sure, like, okay, we're going to have these animals, we're going to do this and that. Then all of a sudden, like, when you're really in it, you're like, wow, here is that moment of this medicine and this miracle and this antidote to maybe a place in me that has been hurting, or a part of me that needs to awaken, or not awaken necessarily, but like just really just create a relationship with that can help me to move to the next phase of all of this, right? We die so many times in this lifetime and still maintain the physical body. We are constantly shedding layers and things that don't serve us, but that's compost, and compost, is filled with nutrients that enable the new growth to be that much more strong and that much more, it's like, we are becoming the tree of life. We are restoring our divine template of tree of life, where we're anchored and grounded with Mother Earth, but we are expanded into the creative imagination with spirit. And that circulation of energy is allowing us all to be these major conduits of this great ascension, where, when anything tries to get in the way of it, we just are gardeners. We weed. We have to just pull the weeds and just do the energy maintenance every day. And just remember that we're gardeners of our own soul growth and ability to manifest, the most beautiful and abundant garden. Don't be scared of, the little critters and the weeds, just make it a daily practice and just get so in tune with it that you're in that flow. And there's, and at this, one last thing, just being a spiritual athlete, when that obstacle comes, when that challenge comes, that gatekeeper or that frequency fence that you want to get over so that you can upgrade that DNA, you face it as a spiritual warrior and athlete. And you get stronger in the face of it instead of victimized, instead of, in that lower level mindset that we're stepping away from. We are about to really embrace the divine inheritance that we were born with and celebrate it fully and completely. And I'm celebrating it right now with all of you. And we're totally going to
yes
together. So.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Laura. As a Capricorn, I appreciate your love of goats. And Sally just wrote, I could easily wake up with this daily mantra, I am a gardener of my own soul. And yes, we do need to be gardeners of the earth, gardeners of our own soul. We want you to definitely meet her next weekend at the New Living Expo, but we have people watching from all over the world. So for those of you who can't be at the expo next weekend, you can find out all things Laura Eisenhower by going to her website, which is cosmicgaia.org. I love that. That's a great name. cosmicgaia.org. So thank you, Laura, so much for being with us tonight. And just a reminder that we are running a little bit late. Hang in there, everybody. We still have Lori Grace coming. We have Sean J. doing magic. We've got more performances from Mystical Joyride and David Seva. But right now, I get to introduce one of my favorite people on the planet. There have been quite a few of us that have known each other a long time. And Kenny and Danya and I all go back. And likewise, Celestine Starr. In the beginning, there was Celestine, and it was good. Celestine has been doing the work and the service for so long. She is a sacred wisdom keeper, a grandmother, an international speaker, author, mystic, metaphysical teacher, holistic intuitive healing practitioner, and much, much more. Celestine, looking forward to being able to give you a good hug at the expo next weekend. And looking forward to hearing what tool of transformation you'd like to share tonight.
Oh my goodness, I just want to take a breath and give thanks to just being here. I feel so honored And thank you, Scott, for that wonderful introduction. And I want to give just kudos and bows to Kenny and Karina. Love you. Mwah. It has been since the beginning. You know, I'm thinking way back. We're going 30 years now. There were so many of us that gathered in the 80s. That was like the shell. I was coming out of the cities. I was administrator for the San Francisco Arts Festival. That's how I cut my teeth on events. And we did these huge week-long events in San Francisco. And so it was in my blood, you know. And later I went up into the hills, up into Middletown. And that's where I met everyone. It was like a nucleus of everyone coming to this one point. It was hundreds of us, right? And each one of us, we know each other for all this time. We're spread across the world, but each one of you, each one of us, that gathering, Harmonic Conversion, 2000, what was it, 19, what was it, 19, tell me, Scott, 1990, what was it, 1987, that's what it was, August 17th, 1987. And that was kind of the beginning for me to recognize, because I was an optician, I was doing quantum science, lasers in the eyes, but when I met with this beautiful community, the richness of life opened up. And Kenny, you've been holding that space for all of us. When you started the Whole Life Expo and going into the New Life Expo, you continue to give us a place to come to and look in each other's eyes. And it was like, are you still alive? Are we alive? We're still standing. What's going on? But this group of beings who, and I want to praise all of us, there were many of us who gave small gatherings. I had the interdimensional light services, and I did science and astronomy and astrology up in the high mountains. And but you stepped out into the big world and allowed thousands of people to come and speak. And I'm so honored to be a speaker, key speaker this year, and also many years before. So I just want to say thank you to you both for that. And for Danyan, I just want to give praise and love as a fellow who has actually experienced death and gone through the light and had the 360 degrees reading and entering the Godhead. You know, that has been something that I have walked with my whole life, and the knowing. And I know that there is a difference in having the knowing and then being with those who have not been to the other side and are not quite sure, do not quite know what's going on. But it opened the field for me, and being in a metaphysical family and then having these experiences with otherworldly beings. My name, Celestine, it speaks into the celestial, and I am one of the keepers of the great wisdoms and working with the interstellar people. So I can tell you that, yes, humanity's future is so bright. Let me get my sunglasses. You know, we are doing it slowly. We are coming out of a darkened space, you know, the valley of the shadows. But this is good for us because we're having to look at who we are as a species. You know, we're being guided gently into the reintegration of humanity with the whole of the cosmos. When this next level that we're moving towards as a unified humanitarian species, we will be with the whole of creation. And I could tell you that I've been spending time, I've been across the river, I've seen the beautiful interdimensional places, the city of light, the halls of Amenti. They call them septicles, but you know, they are there, and they hold great wisdom and love. And as they tell me, when you look at the beach, if you saw a pure white beach and you saw a few little speckles of dark, that would be the proportion of the reverse consciousness that you would find in the whole of creation. I have been in the deepest woods, and I can tell you, walking in and being among the great illuminated interstellar ultra-terrestrials, I have such deep respect, you know, working with those beings who, such as Magdalene, Yeshua, my sister Isis, who is Mother Mary. There are a few, and think about this, there are a few of these very amazing stellar beings who have been given permission to interface with humanity. And so we're getting to a place where the energies of the planet have risen. And Daniel, you spoke about, December 24th, 12/12, 2012. That was the moment we hit the center of the Milky Way. It was like, set your clocks, 250,000, 25,980 days from now, we're going to be in the same space. And so I love the Mayans, and they did have it. And since that time, as we're rising up above the Milky Way, we do this ecliptic. And so we are getting more gamma and more solar and more energies, which is affecting our whole being. So recognize that sometimes the intensity of the world is there, and you're just learning how to breathe. So I could say to you, my tips are to breathe inward, like breathe it in, and just open the crown and let it all go into the earth. And then when you're breathing out, allow yourself to breathe inward into the belly, let the energy go down into the earth, and breathing out so that you're coming into present time. Coming into present time allows you to be here. And what's really amazing for each one of us is that we have the ability to manifest. I've been told by the Interstellar there are 7 billion Earths because each one of us are creating our own world. We create our own reality. So in the world of all the changing and all that's going on, the two timelines, one going over the cliff, we're going to go into doom, and the other one evolution, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane and manifest through visualization what it is you need in your life. Everything, as you look in the living room, you look around you, you can see what is within you. So having been an intuitive therapeutic practitioner and worked in deep trauma for over 40 years, coming from my own life trauma, healing my own self, being present and seeing the process, the proper processing, shining and polishing my mirrors, letting go of the fear, letting go of the past, and just recognizing that the empowerment is to say, why am I creating that? Why is humanity creating the war? So when you ask the question, it can come down to, is it a mission? Is it an agreement? Those agreements and contracts can be broken. And there are many practitioners who are really on it. Thank Goddess. From that time in the 80s, many spiritual practitioners came forward, and they are here now to help people, help you go through the process of allowing yourself to let go. It's time. Because beyond that letting go, you see what you have mastered. Most that I've worked with, they've mastered the lower nature of humanity. Whether it is abuse, neglect, whatever it may be. And are you ready to let it go? Do you have enough of that? And when they say yes, and they let it go, when you say yes, and you let it go, knowing that you can keep that information, that wisdom in your gree-gree bag. Yeah, you can use it to help others. You know what it looks like. You know how to heal it. You healed it in yourself. So there it is. You've mastered something. And after doing this, and you begin a rhythm of processing your stuff, this is how you come out of the valley of the shadows, right? Now, the interstellars tell us about peace. We're saying, oh, the war is happening, this is happening, we need peace. But their peace is coming from a place of love. They don't come from a place of we're suffering and we got to get somewhere. This is going to happen. They said peace is woven into the fabric of creation. And the threads of love, truth, harmony, balance, compassion, and joy are woven into the fabric of what you breathe in every day. As Daniel said, take a breath. The breath of life. You have the will. That is yours. Now I'm going to say, in that instance, your name, your vibration, who you are, you were birthed into creation. That vibration of who you are is indestructible. It cannot be broken. You have a purpose and a function, which is an expression of creation. We could read the story of your life and we would know what God or what the source, the cosmic has gone through. We are all expressions. And so they say we are human seed consciousness because we are awakening to our own divinity, awakening to our God self. And so humanity is awakening, and I'm so grateful. They say until every child has food, until every person is cared for, has a place of shelter, we are still kind of in the barbaric baby stage. We have a chasm that we have to cross. We have to get across there. And it is through evolution of consciousness, which is why I am here. My purpose is to assist in the elevation of consciousness and keep the way sacred. It's very simple. Ceremony and keeping the path clear. So I want to offer the know thyself. And I want to say that for those of you who would like to know why you came to Earth and the first time you came to Earth, then you can get in touch with me, and Scott will put it up on the thing. Have a galactic origin, because what we're doing here is connecting people to their divinity. That is my tool of transformation. I'm so grateful to be here, because not only do you go to a place where you will learn about where you were when you first came, you'll know who you are, your contracts, agreements, and then we go back to where you came from. So thank you, Scott. I love you. And also, Daniel, I want to thank you being the brother of the doula of death. I serve as that as well. And you know it, Scott. We've done some work together in that.
That's right.
So I just want to thank everyone, because you are the awakened hope for humanity. And that's what you're going to see at New Living Expo. The people there are the awakened hope for humanity. They're welcoming you in, and just let your heart be guided. All of the booths, we have a booth. I'm just excited. So thank you, Scott. I love you.
Love you too, Celestine, and I can't wait to get you a big soul sister hug
Oh, I
at the
can't
New
wait.
Living Expo.
Yes.
And again, you know, Celestine is an amazing guide and coach to work with. She's brilliant. And go to her website, which is galacticearthcouncil.com. galacticearthcouncil.com. I see that you've got something fun coming up with a lot of our friends at Astara, Maya Monasteros.
Unity, unify.
And I think if you go to your website that you can find out more about how to schedule an appointment with you and all that.
Galactic activations. Yeah, there it is.
Right, so go to Galactic Activations and get activated. Get Celestined.
That's right. Yeah.
Love you so much, soul sister.
Oh, love you too. And we love Kenny.
And we love Kenny. Where is Kenny? There he is. I'm gonna bring our brother back on. There he is.
I didn't go anywhere.
From the beginning, my love. From the beginning to the
Yeah, I
end.
like to bring my favorite people on the Zoom, because a lot of people have been asking me, is this thing on virtual? Can I watch it on Zoom? They're so used to being Zoom.
Watch it on Zoom.
And yes, I would love to say yes, but I unfortunately have to come live to get that hug. But at least I give them this weekend to experience something, a taste of the expo.
Oh, it's going to be, everyone's so excited because we do get to see each other. And I want to thank you for hanging in there, because you did hang in there through the 2 years. So.
Ups and downs and ups and downs
Oh my
with the
God.
roller coaster.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
those
Believed
people.
in you. Everybody is believing in you and lifting you up, and we're going to get so much from it. So sign up now.
So many people stayed the course with Marianne and Michael, and so many other top speakers, they all said, we'll stay with you. Every 6 months I had to postpone it. They all said, yeah, I'll carry over. And so, it's really
easy.
It's time,
Hey, we still have a lot coming up, Kenny. We've got Elizabeth Wilcox Serafina coming up. We've got Lori Grace coming. We've got Sean J. Magic still. But I think it's time for some music. And so I'm going to go back to our friends, Mystical Joyride. Hey, you two, have you enjoyed the show?
Yes. Beautiful. Love
been
y'all.
amazing.
Speaking of beautiful, you two look fantastic. What you got for us?
We're just going to start by taking a couple deep breaths together, talking about breath, right? So let's take a deep breath in and out. In. Out.
Maybe if I was rich and famous and everybody knew what my name was, I would be cool with me. I would be cool with me. Maybe if they dug my style and I could make them smile, then I would be okay with me. I would be cool with me. I wanna be. All I know is I end up from the inside. End up from the inside. All I know is I end up from the inside. To find the peace, to find the peace of mind. To find the peace, I end up from the inside. I have always known it, but not always shown it. I've been hypnotized through so many lies. Maybe with meditation, I can find salvation. Gotta get still with me, so I can be cool with me. I wanna be. I don't know, but all I know is I end up from the inside. End up from the inside. All I know is I end up from the inside. To find the peace, to find the peace of mind. To find the peace, I end up from the inside. From the inside. From the inside.
To the outside. Bring peace of mind.
End up from the inside.
Inside to the outside. Bring peace of mind.
End up from the inside. End up from the inside. All I know is I end up from the inside. To find the peace, to find the peace of mind. To find the peace, I end up from the inside.
Oh, you guys, I love you so much. You guys are fantastic. Just
you.
fantastic. Thank you so much.
Right back at you.
And And a reminder that you can learn everything you wanted to know, but were afraid to ask, or not so much, by going to their website, which is their name, mysticaljoyride.com. And tell us a little bit about some of the upcoming gigs you guys got coming up.
So yeah, we got Soul Play, we got Lightning in a Bottle, we've got an art show type gig here in LA. I don't remember the date of that, but
May 13th.
May 13th, yes. So you can also find all the info on Instagram to Mystical Joyride on Instagram. So follow us there if you can, please, and also so we can connect with you and get you
Get your good vibes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for just bringing so much joy into our world and such wonderful music. Oops, I didn't mean to put myself on without you. There you are. Thank you both. Thank you very, very, very much. And I will definitely see you in June, and I'm definitely going to be texting you and asking if we can bring you on one more time in June also as well. So,
Yay.
Awesome.
Thank you guys so much. You guys
Thank you,
are
Scott.
wonderful.
And everybody else here, love you all, appreciate you. The vibes that you're all bringing forward.
Thank you.
Yeah, isn't it wonderful? Like each person, the way they bring on their own unique medicine, their own unique wisdom. And almost everybody's saying the same thing in a different way, whether it's Laura Eisenhower or Celestine or Danyan or Marianne. We all are bringing our own unique way of seeing this incredible time of humanity that we're all in. And I always like to say, we are the ones we've been waiting for. And this is the time we've been preparing for. This is it. Kickoff has begun.
Yep. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do
Well,
you.
thank you again, you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
I am so pleased that we get to go from one amazing act. And, this show kind of grew out of Saturday Night Alive. Kenny Kaufman was one of the very first people that got Saturday Night Alive going for us. And he still calls us Saturday Night Alive, which is okay. What we learned was on Saturday nights, it's nice to combine inspirational presentations like you're hearing with inspirational music and even magic. And so we hadn't had magicians on for a while because the shows that we've been doing have been a little bit more serious, a little bit more dramatic, if you will. Last weekend it was all about Earth Day, but I thought, for this show we got to bring back magic, and our absolute favorite magician is Sean Jay. And I was so pleased that Sean was available. He's been back out working. So, I've asked him a few times. He said, hey, Scott, I got gigs again. I can go out into the world. But he had a gig earlier tonight, and he was able to do that and then come be with us. And so, with no further ado, here is Sean Jay.
Hey, everybody. I'm back. Thanks for having me back, Scott. This is a fun show. It's Tools for Transformation, and it's perfect for me because magic is all about transformation. And one of the most recognized tools of transformation for a magician is not only fire, but the classic magic wand. Right here. The magic wand makes things appear and disappear, makes things transform into others. Now, the wand is a simple wood item, just like this pencil here. And all pencils come from something else. Pencils come from the earth. They come from trees. And in this case, what I have here is just some paper. And using this paper, I'm going to transform the paper, and paper goes right here for a moment inside of the cup. And with just a little bit of time, a little bit of pressure, we can get something else that's white like the paper, but we can go way, 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 way forward into the future and have this. This is a recharge cord, I guess. There we go. That we're all familiar with using, recharging our portable devices. Now, sometimes the technology can kind of get in our way, per se. So sometimes we need to take a little break from the technology. So I'm just going to take a little break right here. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Can you see that? Sometimes we need to maybe go out in nature, go out in the forest, take a deep breath of fresh air, because that's the real magic, where we can transform ourselves, transform our body, and feel new again. Now, I thought, well, what if we were to make our memory a little bit better by involving with nature? What if we were to go out in nature? What if we were to relive some positive experiences and we were to just get that brain work and get a little neuroplasticity going? Because if I were to just take this power brick apart, just like I'm taking your mind apart into little pieces right now, and just stretch your imagination just a little bit, you can realize and understand what we're all capable of when we stretch our mind, we open up our mind just a little bit. And if we can open our mind to the endless possibilities that are around us, well, we can spread the love and keep sharing it for generations to come. And those are my peace beads, my prayer beads, and that's my little message to you all, to the Global Peace Tribe. And I'm Sean Jay, and I created this piece just for you tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed.
Hey, Scott, he said Global Peace Tribe too.
I mean, isn't that just everybody? I don't know, but I turned into a 10-year-old boy watching Sean. You know, it's just amazing. I went to Gallery View so you can see people.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. See, because what I do is not just tricks. I always tell people this. I'm actually in the stress relief business, because magic is a performance art, just like the wonderful like Mystical Joyride. They're in the stress relief business too. They're not just playing songs, they're helping people to relax, to take a deep breath, to forget their troubles. That's what I do. I just have a different vehicle for doing that. And it's visual and it's fun, and I get a chance to spread a lovely message along the way.
Well, I'm sure that everybody now, if you haven't already, go grab your cell phone, go to the camera function, and go right there towards that QR code, and boom, you're going to be able to easily sign up for Sean Jay's newsletter, where you can keep up. And you've got a lot going on. You've got more gigs happening now. You've got TV show appearances. What are some things you got going on?
Yeah, so for those of you on the West Coast, I don't know if it's aired yet, but no, it has not aired yet. So at from 9 to 10 p.m. West Coast time, there's going to be another 2 back-to-back episodes of Masters of Illusion on the CW network. I'm one of the cast members. They've had me back for the 3rd season in a row. So in the 9:30 to 10 p.m. episode tonight, you will see a little glimpse of Sean Jay on the show. And also next Saturday, May 7th, I will be back on Masters of Illusion during the 9 p.m. episode. And for those of you who are in Bakersfield or close to Bakersfield, California, I will actually be performing out there, one night only, at the Gaslight Melodrama Theater in Bakersfield, California, May 9th. May 9th. And if you would like to learn more about that, just go to celebritiesofmagic.com. Celebritiesofmagic.com. And also, all my newsletter subscribers, if you've signed up, you'll be notified about that as well. So yeah, I make it out to the West Coast. from
And you
time
also
to
have
time.
your website, SeanJMagic.com.
Yes, sir. There it is.
So there's another
SeanJMagic.com.
place. So, oh, look, how did you do that? How does he do all those things? How's he
I'm
do
just
that?
really good, Scott. What can I say?
You're really good. Well, I always like the line you said before. You've been single for a long time. So, and one of the things that I just want to say, and then we'll let Sean go. He rehearses hours and hours and hours and hours to put together what we just saw. Like what we just saw was 5 minutes of incredible mouth-dropping stuff. But I want to acknowledge and appreciate all the hours you put in
Thank
to
you.
delight us. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, everyone. Y'all keep spreading the peace and the good vibes.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Ken, can you get Sean next year for the expo? Can we do that?
I'll get him anytime I can get that man. He is fantastic. I haven't seen magic like that ever. So, I know some good magicians, but you rocked it, man. I mean, we're thinking about how the hell did he do that?
I know.
Thank you.
I
And I
know.
try
I'm
to
gonna
make
go back
it
and watch the
different.
replay.
Make it
Yeah,
look
watch
very
the
real.
replay 10,000 times, and then maybe you'll get a glimpse of just the many hours, more than 10,000 hours. But yeah, it's not like, so I look at this not as just me doing tricks. Like this is a great program because I get a chance to say some meaningful things and create some meaningful pieces. And it's not all about just card tricks. So I thought, what can I bring different, that's really just different but visual that nobody's seen before. So hopefully I've done that, and I'd love to do that at the New Living Expo for you guys as well.
Humor is our best stress reliever for sure.
Thank you.
Sean, thank you so much, and look
Thanks,
forward
Scott.
to the next time we connect with you. God bless you. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Have a great night, guys.
Hey, one of the things that is going to be at the expo is there's always UFO stuff. And I want to acknowledge that Deborah Giusti, who helped to create Saturday Night Live and co-founded the Global Peace Tribe with me and along with Kenny, is working with something new. She's working with our good friend Alan Steinfeld, and they are putting together a really exciting series called Making Contact. And it's going to be an opportunity every Thursday night, starting on May 19th, to meet with the great leaders of the UFO movement. Linda Moulton Howe, Whitley Strieber, JJ and Desiree Hurtak, Nick Pope, Caroline Corey. She was just on our show recently. So these are all people that are longtime friends. They've all been on my show, and they're fabulous. And you're going to get a chance to meet them and work with them. And to kind of show a little bit more about it, here's a video that Alan Steinfeld, our good friend from New Realities, just put together and sent to me today.
From deep, deep in outer space to planet Earth, to the Red Rocks of Sedona, to our online community here, comes a time, a message, a special series on Making Contact.
There is no better time for making contact. I'm George Norrie, host of the national radio show Coast to Coast AM. Alan Steinfeld has put together a well-conceived collection that covers it all.
Thanks, George, for that introduction. This is Alan Steinfeld, the editor and author of Making Contact, which is a collection of writings of the best and brightest people in the field of ufology. I'm putting together a special series of some of these fantastic contributors to my book. People like Whitley Strieber, Linda Moulton Howe, Carolyn Corey, Nick Pope, JJ and Desiree Hurtak, and such contactees as Marina Sarin and Kamara Jones and the Art of Kamara Jones, plus some very special surprises in the field. Please join me for this fantastic series of dialogues as I dive deeper into anything I've done before. For more information and for a complete description of the 5-week course, go to makingcontactseries.com. George, any final comments?
The contributions of all these people help to give insight into the multifaceted intentions of the phenomena. This is most needed at this time because Making Contact presents the opportunity for us to prepare to meet advanced civilizations. Someday, somehow in the future, the conflicts that have plagued our species for eons will come to an end. And by making contact, we will take our rightful place among the stars.
The Making Contact series is presented by Alan Steinfeld and New Realities, Deborah Giusti and the Global Peace Tribe, in association with Neil Gar, Portal to Ascension. Join us for this online series, Making Contact, the New Realities of Disclosure and Cosmic Awakening, taking place on Thursdays beginning May 19th from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Time. The first session is free. To find out more and to sign up, go to makingcontactseries.com. See you there.
Thank you, Ellen Steinfeld, and I appreciate that Ellen always broadcasts all of the Awakening World shows, all the Global Peace Tribe events on his YouTube channel, New Realities. And Alan is doing a great job, and looking forward to seeing what Alan and Deborah put together. So definitely make sure you're there on Thursday nights. We've got Elizabeth Wilcox still coming up. We've got one more ride with Deva Seva. But right now, I get to introduce, again, you keep hearing all about these long-term friendships. Lori Grace and I have been friends, I'm proud to say, since 1985. And I have had the honor of working with Lori in a wide variety of capacities over the years. And Lori is one of the great pillars of our community. Her support of the environment, she introduced me to Marshall Rosenberg, which changed my life. And when I became a love coach, that all started with Lori introducing me to Marshall. She's brought so much to our world. And she's going to be at the New Living Expo next weekend, doing several events. Lori teaches Tantra and sacred sexuality. She teaches compassionate communication by really making it an embodied practice. She is a great protector of the earth. She is always ahead of the curve. And Lori, good to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. It's wonderful to see you. I'm so happy to be both on your show and to be invited or to be a part of the New Living Expo. And I'm so glad that I'm going back to things that I've done for 20, 25, 30 years. And one of them, Tantra and sexual energetics, was the first thing that I developed after healing my own sexual challenges, having, been really blocked by actually being raped, and also as my introduction to sex, and also a sort of a puritanical upbringing. And I liberated myself to being fully orgasmic and being able to be in charge of my own sexual energy and to bring it through all parts of my body. So I was very happy for that. And then the compassionate communication work, which I've done since 1999, and both as student and teacher, has totally changed my life in terms of being able to express myself empathically and to get my needs met without judgment or criticism, and to be able to reach empathically into the needs of others and to create win-wins through empathy. And just to give you one little example of a conversation that might go on, somebody might, let's say, and you see it in movies all the time, how could you be so rude to keep interrupting me in the middle of my story? Okay, so what that is that's used a judgment, criticism, attack, where the person is trying to get their needs met. With nonviolent communication, we use a 4-step process of observing things, sharing the emotions, sharing our needs, and making a request. And if it's going to be really a request and not a demand, and we hear a no, we learn how to empathize with the other person. So just to give you an example of how to translate what I just showed you, I would say, when I hear you talking in the middle of my talking, I feel really frustrated because I'm really wanting some respect and some caring for my story. And would you be willing to hold off on your story before I finish mine? So that would be an easier way that somebody could hear something. and possibly my needs could be met. But if I heard a no, then I would say, what are you needing that's making you say no to my request? Are you needing some space and time? Are you needing some chance to chill out? Are you needing to really share your story first, because it so occupies your mind that you can't hear mine at this time? So these are the kind of empathic inquiries that help people come to a place of connection, and not to have so much, to be able to come through empathy to a place where people can work together. Now, I placed my face behind a picture of part of my place in Maui at Haleakua Garden Farm. And that's another thing we're going to be sharing at the New Living Expo. And there are going to be 2 teachers, or actually 4 teachers presenting after the expo on wonderful retreats they're holding at my place. My place, which overlooks a 150-foot waterfall with rainbows, and there's no drought there. There's no smoky air, nothing. It's just beautiful and really supports healing in a very deep way. So anyway, that's why I chose that. So anyway, I'm also going back, and I'm so happy to be doing everything in person and really focusing on small groups so I can give people in-depth feedback, whether it's Tantra, whether it's sexual energetics, whether it's compassionate communication, which I now call embodied compassionate communication, because I've integrated Aikido, Gestalt awareness work, breath work into being able to enhance our ability to communicate and hear somebody, and to also do it subtly so it doesn't look like we're doing some technique. Okay, so I'm so happy to get back into in-person sharing, because I didn't really like doing it on Zoom, because I really wanted to reach in deep to other people. And so I'm doing that both in the Bay Area and also in Maui, Hawaii. So anyway, these are just a few of the things. And at the expo, we do have a booth there, in fact, 2 booths, and we're going to be giving people opportunities to have discounted trips to my place in Maui, free classes at my place in Corte Madera at Sunrise Center, where we're holding programs. And it's really going to be exciting to see everybody there. So anyway, that's some of what I wanted to share.
Lori, thank you so much. And one of the things that Lori mentioned that I really want to emphasize is she is a wonderful teacher. And you can now go see her. The masks are down, and you can go to the Sunrise Center, which is in Corte Madera, California, just over the Golden Gate Bridge from San Francisco. And Lori does a lot of wonderful programs at Sunrise Center. And for those of you in Maui, or who are looking to go to Maui, she has retreats that take place there, and some of which that she's looking to organize. So go to sunrisecenter.org, sunrisecenter.org, to learn about the classes that Lori's teaching, or if you're looking to lead a class, it's a great space. I've taught classes there. It's a wonderful space right off Highway 101. It's 2 minutes from the freeway in Corte Madera. And Lori is a wonderful teacher. And she really brings all these different skills, her understanding of Tantra, sacred sexuality, embodied body work, compassionate communication. She weaves it all together to help us really enjoy life to the fullest. And I'm going to bring on our mutual buddy, Kenny, because I'm sure Kenny wants to say hello and share a little bit about what you're going to be doing at the expo.
What Lori's going to be doing at the expo, you mean?
Yeah. What dates, times?
She's got a lecture on Saturday at I think it's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. I wrote it down. I don't have it in front of me. And then on Sunday she's got a double header. She's got a a lecture like at 5 o'clock and then a workshop at 6 o'clock. So that's going to be great. You get a sort of a stay in the whole room for her. And many of your speakers, if you go to the New Living Expo, you'll see the speaker schedule and you'll see what's happening. And Scott brought it up before. And remember, you get that 22% discount if you buy tickets this weekend only. Take advantage of that. I saw a couple people chime in for that, so thank you. And it's just my way of giving back to the I don't want to say Saturday Night Live.
To the Global Peace Tribe.
Yeah, right.
And again, here's
Awakening World. Yes.
Go to the newlivingexpo.com, pull up, take a look at their incredible schedules. This is the schedule for Saturday, and it's really remarkable. So, Lori, I look forward to seeing you next weekend at the Expo, and thank you for being part of our Awakening World tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I am so grateful for all of the presenters, and Elizabeth Wilcock, she's awesome. She came on and was on our early show and started the show, and she is going to be wrapping up. So thank you, Elizabeth, for your wisdom and also your patience and being such an incredibly beautiful part of tonight's show. And your wisdom and your ability to express what's going on is very much what we need at this time. And Ken, is there anything you'd like to add in your personal experience?
Yeah, I'll just add that she'll be doing her workshop at noon on Sunday, an hour and a half workshop. And she's also part of the Ascension panel that Deborah is hosting at 4 o'clock that day. So you get sort of a little doubleheader with Elizabeth Wilcox Seraphine. She spent her lifetime training with masters and grandmasters of the sacred paths of power. She's the creator of the Priestess Path lineages of light and has initiated thousands across the globe in the sacred spiritual arts. Her website's elizabethseraphine.com, and I'm sure somebody will put that in the chat. She's got upcoming seminars called Your Heart Knows the Way, Navigating Life Through the Compass of Your Heart. So you can sign up on our website. So take it over. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ken and Scott, for hosting this and for hosting the in-person events that we're all going to be at next weekend. Really excited to be there with everybody. Danyan and I were talking early on for your people that were special people that were there earlier about this time, and Danyan essentially lived with us for about a year. So we became really close. And we did the Path of Light together with him, David, and Danyan and I. So Danyan is a real treasure. And as he was speaking of, a warrior who is making a stand. And that's what I'm going to be speaking of at the New Living Expo, Ascension and the Sacred Stand, because I think that all of us who are hearing the call, which are many of us have incarnated here at this time because we heard the call of the earth. We heard the cries of the earth, and we love this planet, and we love her elements, and we love her animals. And we came here for a reason, and we came here to help. And so there is a homing beacon inside each and every one of us that is going off, that's either saying that you're on track or you're off track. So I just recently changed my name to Elizabeth Seraphine. So those of you that may have known me as Elizabeth Wilcock, it is changing. And that's in honor of the angels. And so my little tidbit that I'd like to leave here with everybody is follow your heart. I only have a few minutes, I know. And it was really following my heart that not only saved me, but that changed the course of my life forever. Because by the time I was 17, I was severely bulimic and I had been hospitalized, and I had gotten out of the hospital and I got worse because Western medicine had given me everything it had, and it couldn't touch where that disease was, which was my soul. And my soul was sick because of the trauma I had experienced in my childhood, and then being on a planet where the default reality was so unfulfilling that I felt homesick. And I yearned for a temple when I was around 14 and a half, I wanted to go to a temple and be initiated by wise women who understood the wisdom of the female body, the wisdom of the divine, and there were no temples. And I yearned for a wise woman who could come and teach me, and there was no wise woman. And so my soul was devastated, like being on a planet where there was like no spirituality that I could access easily. And I went further into the darkness. And it wasn't until I finally went off to college and I got introduced to shamanism, and I began studying shamanism at the age of 18 formally. And I started using those tools. And one evening, I was gifted a miraculous healing by the spirits after sincerely working with the shamanic tools. And it was in that moment that I committed myself to the paths of power, or what I call the lineages of light. And I started studying shamanism full time. So I sat my mom down one day and I said, Mom, I have to follow my heart, and it might not look like you wanted it to look, because of course my mother and my dad wanted me to be a normal person and finish college and get a real job and get married and have kids and all this stuff. And I knew that wasn't my path. And my soul was already sick from, one, not following my heart, and two, like not being able to follow my heart because the systems weren't in place for me to do so. And so essentially what I did was I went on a quest for the last 35 years. I went on a quest to find the lineages, the ancient lineages that housed the wisdom that came from the divine. And I apprenticed some of those lineages, literally apprenticed, like blanketing formal ceremonies to, masters, Nagual elders, and have been in those lineages for, up to the martial art lineage now is the longest formal one I'm contiguously in. And it's been about 30 years now. So from those lineages, I created a mystery school because I ended up creating the temple I yearned for. And it's called the Priestess Path Lineages of Light. It merges the lineages that I studied, and then also it adds things from my own direct experience and revelation. It's to support those star seeds, ET souls, those of us who need this kind of education. And so I know a lot of you listening now probably either are people who hold the seed for new systems inside of you, or are those that are needing to connect to those new systems in order to truly nourish who you really are. Because if you're listening to this, you're probably one of those star seeds that came here to help. And so we need to create systems for us. We need to create those systems that can be safe for the ETs to show back up in. And what that means is we need to evolve. We need to ascend, like we need to get on the real ascension program, which is really our own personal evolutionary timeline, because you are an eternal soul on an eternal timeline. And this is a school right now that we are in. And I've had 2 near-death experiences. The first near-death experience, I met my angelic family and they celebrated me. And that totally changed my view of life. And that's one of the reasons why I quit college and I decided to study shamanism, because I needed those universities, those lineages of wisdom. And so I met my spirit family, and then I knew that I was here for a mission. And I knew that when I come back and I meet them again, I will be interacted with from that eternal soul timeline. Like, did you do your mission? Like, did you have the courage? Did you focus? Did you let things distract you? Did you let fear get in the way? And so even at that time, I was like 19 when I had my first death experience. I was really young. I had a lot of soul loss. I mean, I had to put my soul back together like Humpty Dumpty, and it took me about 10 years. And I did that through the shamanic lineage. And so it's one that's very near and dear to my heart. And then from there, I went into the martial art lineages and trained with masters and grandmasters. And I have 5 black belts. And from there are amazing, beautiful teachings that have been carried down from these lineages. And these lineages are dying out because the type of like commitment to be in them is extreme, and most people aren't doing that. Also, the type of commitment to carry the lineage is extreme, and it's a very humble, difficult kind of work. So they're getting more and more rare, these things. But it's nice to, like, we're preserving some of the jewels. But right now, inside of everybody, like, you really have, you have your own wisdom, and it's just to turn the light of awareness around and to listen to your heart. And so that is the topic of my free webinar series that will be coming up. Follow your heart, listen to your heart, because the heart knows the way. And when I began to follow my heart, that's when the magic began. And that's when the real education began and my real life path began. And sometimes it's inconvenient because sometimes your heart will ask you to make great changes without telling you what's around that corner or what you're going to get if you let go of everything you've ever known. And some of the most amazing things that ever happened to me happened when I let go of everything I knew, and I had absolutely nothing, and I didn't know why, except I knew I had to. And so humanity is being called to let go of things. Humanity is being called to let go of the things that don't work, and to not allow greed or fear or the lesser emotions, the lower vibrational emotions, to get in the way of it. We don't need styrofoam. And we don't even need plastic anymore. It's actually harming everything. There are solutions to that already. And yet, those factories still occur and they're still running. Why? It is inconvenient for those people to let it go. But yet, inside of so many, there is a new paradigm. And so there's no time to waste. Make it now. If there's something that's lived inside of your heart that you wanted to do, or create or offer, the time is now, because the younger people need this bridge. The third wavers, I was listening to Dolores Cannon, and she was talking about the first wavers, the second wavers, the third wavers. The second wavers are people like me, didn't want to have children, would rather live in a cave and not really interact that much. The third wavers, she calls the hope for humanity. And those third wave children, they need somewhere to go. They need systems to connect to. So we are the ones to create these new educational systems, all of us, these new systems of communication, right? I love, the compassionate communication. It's so incredibly important because the biggest breakdown of relationships is communication. The biggest breakdown of relationships, business, where do businesses fail? It's usually some form of communication. Where do relationships fail? It's usually some form of communication. Somebody gets hurt, somebody says something hurtful, and it's done. So we need these new systems. So thank you, everybody who's carrying this in your soul codes, unlock those, and it's time. So that's what my talk is about at the New Living Expo. It's Ascension and the Sacred Stand, because it's time to make a stand, and first and foremost inside of ourselves. So when you choose to follow your heart, you're making a sacred stand for the sacred in you. So the sacred in you first. And when you start to listen to the sacred in you, you begin to be guided by this compass that lives in your heart, your intuition. I say the intuition is like an antenna connecting directly to God, and it will guide you. And your brain might want to know certain things, and sometimes the heart does not reveal those, but the path is a path of heart. And so I know a lot of you won't be able to be there in person with us, but if you can, it would be so wonderful to see you in person in California. Many of you are here online, and thank you again, Scott, for holding this. And for your commitment. You know, Scott and Ken, you're clearly so committed to holding spaces, you know, safe and sacred spaces for people to gather, you know, and I really appreciate that. And I appreciate you having me on here, and appreciate you having me at the New Living Expo.
Elizabeth, it's been great having you here. And so many people are writing in the chat box about how you're really speaking to them. And of course, we want to see you next weekend. But for those who can't, or even those who can, I want to direct people to your website. It's her name, Elizabeth Seraphine, SERAPHINE.com. And definitely, I encourage you to do what I'm doing right now. I'm going to join your circle of sisters, even though
It's really for everybody. But I was given direct, you know, a direct thing from the goddess a while ago to help with the sacred feminine.
Yeah, no, and it's really important. Thank you so much for your presence in the world, for the wonderful ways you've contributed tonight, the wisdom you've shared, and look forward to seeing you next weekend.
Yes, good. Thank you.
Ken?
Yeah, no, I agree. Just can't wait to see her too. We want to give hugs as much as we can.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, we are in the home stretch, and we are going to have a final song from Deva Seva. But you know, before we do that, two quick things. I want to remind people again, we continue with more amazing people tomorrow morning. Don't miss our special Sacred Sunday edition of The Awakening World with John Gray, Suzanne Ross, Lisa Barnett, Maureen St. Germain, and the wonderful Kenny Kaufman and myself. We're going to have a dynamic conversation. And you know, on Sundays, it's a Zoom meeting format. So that means that you can come on into the Zoom room, and if you want to even turn on your camera, we're going to converse, we're going to ask questions. It's a little bit more informal and a chance to interact with these amazing presenters, all of whom are going to be at the New Living Expo, but you can also connect with them tomorrow online on Zoom. And then finally, I want to remind everybody that Teresa Collins is a wonderful collaborator. We work with her every 3 months. She created the Global Coherence Pulse. So those of you that have been watching Saturday Night Live and now The Awakening World, you've seen a lot of the shows where she's come on and brought on a lot of her amazing presenters like Greg Braden. She has put together a very unique and special opportunity for us all to drop in even deeper with each other. And here's a little video to tell you about it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Teresa Collins. I'm co-founder of the Global Coherence Pulse and the Islands of Coherence Network. And I just wanted to personally invite you to join us for the Cultivating Coherence in Community retreat that the Islands of Coherence, the Global Coherence Pulse, Good of the Whole, Unify are all co-hosting. And so many of our wonderful friends that we've had on Global Coherence Pulses in the past will be joining as special guests. And it's an opportunity for us to really dedicate this spring, summertime, or if you're on the other side of the planet from me, this fall going into wintertime, to really jumpstart the rest of our lives by spending time cultivating greater coherence in the heart of our daily life, and through us individually and as a community into the field that we all share. It's really time as we face into more and more challenges, and we're really being called to really deepen our capacity for sustained coherence. Love that my cat just jumped on that one. And we'll meet on Zoom during this 3-month retreat. We'll meet in our private social network, which is the Islands of Coherence. We'll meet in our hearts, and we'll meet in the field that we all share together. So if you're looking for something to commit to over this spring and summer time, that's really going to support you to live the life you came to live, to really be able to stabilize in a heart-centered place in the face of whatever you're facing, to begin to really express the unique gift that you're here to give at this amazing and precarious moment that we are in right now, then come and participate in this 3-month retreat. And together in a safe harbor of like-hearted community, we can deepen our own cultivation practice and come into greater health and well-being with greater hope and resilience, and with some real joy to be able to express our unique creativity in community for the good of the whole. Islands of coherence for the good of the whole in a unified field of love. So come and check out the retreat. There's a link right down below, and we hope you'll join us. It's really time. It's really time to come together and support each other to put this purpose first.
There you have it. So definitely look forward to seeing all of you. There are so many wonderful offerings, and we're going to continue to find that balance of live events like Kenny's got next weekend. We are looking at putting together global Peace Tribe retreats, looking at doing one in the Bay Area, looking at doing one in Maui. We're definitely going to do one in Sedona, Arizona, and possibly Asheville, North Carolina. So we're going to be coming together, but it's all about next weekend. And so before we close out with Deva Seva, I'm going to bring Kenny on one more time. Anything, Kenny, you want to add about next week? You're
Let's
muted,
see.
pal.
So much. Yeah, I know. I saw that. Wow, there's so much to say. There's just, it's finally happening. I finally feel like it's really going to happen this time. And it's every time I get close to this, in the last 3 times over the last 2 years, I'm like, shit, I think it's going to happen. I print up stuff and I just, nope, got to throw it away again, recycle. So yeah, it's happening. And I guess you're going to be there, right, Scott? Is that what you're saying? It sounds
I'm going
like
to do my very best. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll make sure
I'm
I take
moving,
good.
I'm moving that week, but I'm
Oh.
going to come on down for at least
You
a
and
day.
Renee and Anthony are moving. Oh, that's pretty
Oh,
great.
yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, they're moving the same time. So yeah, it's going to be a great weekend. Lots of people, lots of good energy, and the timing couldn't be better. Celebrate mothers with Mother Day. Why not? Spend Sunday with mothers.
All right. Well, here it is one last time. If you just go to newlivingexpo.com, newlivingexpo.com, use the promo code that we've been putting into the Zoom room and into the Facebook page. And congratulations. It was a great show. So many beautiful speakers, so much wisdom. Really appreciated Elizabeth and Danyan and Marianne, Lori, Celestine, Laura Eisenhower, everybody who presented. Mystical Joyride and Sean J, lightening our spirits. And now we get to close out with music, going back to Deva Seva.
He'll be at the show too, playing.
That's right. Hey, you guys, you're on.
All right.
Music on Sunday.
Loving is a beautiful thing. Dance till you fall in love. Loving is a beautiful feeling. Dance till you fall in love. Disappear in this song till the dancer is gone, and till only the dance remains. Loving is a beautiful feeling. Dance till you fall in love. Loving is a beautiful feeling. Dance till you fall in love. Disappear in this song till the dancer is gone, and till only the dance Into your hands I lay my life. Into your hands I lay my spirit. Into your hands I lay my life. We are dancing at the feet of creation. We are dancing underneath the warm sky. We are dancing at the feet of creation. We are dancing underneath the warm sky. To your hands I lay my spirit. Into your hands I lay my life. Into your hands I lay my spirit. Into your hands I lay my life. To our heart's core, to the one heart that is melting us all. We are open to our heart's call, to the one heart that is dancing us all. To your hands I lay my spirit. To your hands I lay my life. To your hands I lay my spirit. To your hands I lay my life. To your hands I lay my spirit. Into your hands I lay my life. Into your hands I lay my spirit. Into your hands I lay my life.
What a beautiful closing message for a beautiful night. David Saba will be playing live at the New Living Expo next weekend. And look forward to seeing Celestine and Kenny and David Saba and all the amazing presenters that we saw, and hopefully a lot of you watching. And I'll see all of you hopefully tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. for the Sacred Sunday Show. Thanks again, Kenny. Thank you, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow.